Welcome to this week's episode in Limited Truth. We have another fantastic show for everybody today. But as always, before we get started, I always like to introduce the panel. So I'm gonna start with the number one with the gun, Sega Man. Introduce yourself.
Hey guys, what's going on, man? Glad to be back with my brother Unlimited and the First Lady of Xbox, man, on the Unlimited Truth. Man, I can't wait to get into these topics with my brother Unlimited. Always bringing that great gaming news, man, of Xbox, man. We are Xbox's Central channel, and I can't wait to hear and get into what we're talking about, man. It's your boy Sega Man 101 on deck with the Unlimited Truth, man. And hey, man, brother Unlimited and the First Day of Xbox, man. Let's get this a rolling.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. And next up, want to introduce, excuse me, the first lady of chat, the queen of green, Daya. Introduce yourself.
Right.
Hello, I'm Dia 4568, the first lady of chat. Hello, Shisno. I just seen you. I'm glad to be here with you guys again. I missed everybody, and I can't wait to tackle on these topics. They're fun.
Yeah, yeah. So and Shizno Elite, what's up? What's up,
What's up,
Shizno?
Shizno?
Yeah, we're good, man. We're good. But I do want to start off with this.
Oh,
It's
we got
hey, Six
six
Layer,
layer,
Rick
yeah.
Slayer, what's up?
Deploy,
What's up,
Deploy,
fam? Deploy,
and
Cosmic
Cosmic
Core.
Core Entity with the
Yeah,
cool Marcus Venus
Cosmic
avatar.
Orn. Yeah, what's up?
awesome, you
What's
guys.
up, guys? What's up, Xbox family?
Six Layer says I had bad news. I think you're shadow banned. What do you mean, Six Layer?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. If you could explain it in the chat, I'll address it. But let's get started with today's show. So, Tango Gameworks, Hi-Fi Rush. We know Tango Gameworks was being shut down by Xbox earlier this year in a controversial decision that Matt Booty made to lighten up the load on ZeniMax, right? So it comes out that Crafton Inc., the people who run PUBG, picked up Tango Gameworks, the Hi-Fi Rush IP, but they don't have any of the other IPs from Tango Gameworks, which I found was interesting. I have some thoughts on this, and I'm gonna give my thoughts shortly. But Six says I follow you, Bell and all, but you only show up on my phone when you're planning to do a live stream. Oh yeah, well, YouTube's funny like that, man. YouTube's funny like that, where they like certain people and they dislike others. And on my channel, we swear, we use colorful language. We don't really hide. What I'm saying. We don't do any of this weird self censoring YouTube. A lot of these YouTubers do, which I find super strange. And I'm not going to do that. I'm never going to self censor myself because some fucking corporations don't like my language. They could go fuck themselves. Excuse my language, there, Daya. But yeah. But I'm gonna start with you, Sega Man. So Sega Man, what are your thoughts on this, man? Hi-Fi Rush is being picked up. Tango Gameworks, the developer. Now remember, Sega Man, a lot of the talent and the head of Tango Gameworks is gone. So I'm not sure exactly who all they're getting or what all they're getting. But I would like your thoughts on this, man. What do you think about Xbox selling the Hi-Fi Rush IP and Tango Gameworks to Crafton Inc.?
Well, brother, I mean, it's at the end of the day, we're all gamers and we love gaming and we prefer to play on the Xbox, and that's our system of choice. But it's business. It's part of business, man. Things like this happen, and people try to run with it, brother Unlimited and the First Lady of X, Dea. They try to run with that stuff, try to make a negative thing out of it to get clicks. You know what I mean? To get people to always like try to down Xbox in some kind of way, or uh, question Phil's quo status, being head of Xbox. But at the end of the day, guys, and they do know this, they want to play dumb. At the end of the day, it's a business. And there's some
Yeah.
business decisions that Microsoft has to do. And if that means selling um, the company or that's just what it is. It is what it is. Selling Tango games. Uh, you know, uh, it is what it is. At the end of the day, it's business. It's not going to hurt. It's not going to hurt us as Xbox players and being invested in the ecosystem. I mean, a lot of people like to try to twist that unlimited, and that since we've
Mhm.
been out here in the Xbox gaming streets, holding that shield of X, that they always been doing that. They always been doing that since 2013 up to now to 2024. Anything that comes out business wise, a business decision that they make of maybe like, maybe they have to downsize some, maybe they have to lay some people off, or they go somewhere else, or a game company gets sold like this to somebody else. They always have to turn it into a negative about Xbox. But at the same time, Unlimited, if it happens to Sony PlayStation or the Sony company as a company, it's well, they really needed to do this, or
Yeah.
this is something that really needed to happen. This is what
Yeah.
Sony had to do to make things. Well, it's the same way with Xbox, but in their world, it isn't. It's that Xbox is dead, Xbox is doomed. They're getting out of console business. It's the
Mhm.
same rinse and repeat, wash, rinse and repeat. Chat and guys on the panel. It's the same thing. So it doesn't phase me, Unlimited, if that is to come up where people
Yeah.
will go and make videos about this. But at the end of the day, guys, it's business. It doesn't mean our games are going away. It doesn't mean that Xbox is dead. They're going out of business, or they're getting out of the gaming industry or anything like that. They're far from it. So it's just a part of business, man. And good luck in their endeavors. You know what I mean? It's just something that
Mhm.
they have to do. Part of life. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
it's about making money and bringing more games and more things to Xbox and gaming as an ecosystem for Microsoft in general. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I definitely agree there, Sega man. It's like Shizno said, it's awesome to see that Microsoft was able to get a buyer for Tango instead of dissolving them altogether. Yeah, man,
Yeah,
definitely,
exactly.
definitely. Whatever employees were left over there. I have no clue exactly what it all entails. Because remember, they were shifting the people from Arcane and Tango to other parts of ZeniMax anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I don't know exactly what this entails, or what all, other than the Hi-Fi Rush IP, what all is included with it. But it's definitely seems like a interesting move from Microsoft.
Right,
Interesting move.
right.
Um, Dea. So Dea, let me get your thoughts on this. Former Xbox studio Tango Gameworks and Hi-Fi Rush IP has been acquired by PUBG's Crafton Inc. Interesting move here from Xbox, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on this one.
Okay. One thing I want to say is that I remember one time I had a conversation when
Hmm.
Tango was first announced to be shut down,
Hmm.
and understandably, a lot of Xbox fans was upset because they liked Hi-Fi, and
Hmm.
they was like, what happens to the IP now? And I remember telling this person that, well, you should never, they were saying, well, Tango should sell. I mean, I'm sorry, Microsoft should sell Tango, so we can still get games. And I just said, well, they do have an option to um, keep the IP and always
Uh-huh.
hire somebody else to make the games, which is what they're doing with Fable and what they did with Perfect Dark. The original people who created those games are not who's making the remakes right now or reboots or whatever that is. So I still stand by that. But I'm going to tell you what the exception here is and why this makes sense that Microsoft did it. Nobody in their right mind now, and that includes Microsoft, if they quote unquote buy WB, will buy a studio without the IP. The value comes from the IP. It always does. That's why I said Xbox shouldn't just give up their IP. You never encourage them to do that because IP is so valuable. Um, in this case, there was no value in Tango Gameworks without Shinji Mikami and a lot of the staff that left after him without having some IP to justify the cost. And Microsoft was trying to save the studio and possibly recuperate some of the costs. So they had to give a good IP. The reason why it makes sense that Hi-Fi Rush was selected, number one, is it's the most fresh IP in people's memories right now. It's critically acclaimed. And although Alan Greenberg came out and said at one point that they were pretty satisfied with what Hi-Fi Rush did as far as the numbers and stuff. They
Hmm.
never thought it was going to be a COD or a Minecraft. They never expected the game to do that, and it's already a niche game, right? So, however, since they bought ABK, what people got to understand is that, Satya and the team, they expect that, Microsoft has to justify everything. Things have changed, and whether we want to accept that or not, they can justify passion projects, but they have to see that the games you make are potentially able to make money too. And when you look at all of Tango games that they had, even though they were good, The Evil Within, Ghostwire Tokyo, which I own, that I had so much fun in Ghostwire Tokyo. I like that game. And
Mhm.
also bought Hi-Fi Rush. Um they did not they didn't perform the way people thought they could. And it got to the point where um Phil even was trying to test the water. I think he was trying to see multiple things. I,
Mhm.
I think he was trying to see, can we save Tango? I think on his own, he probably would have kept him in a little longer to see and give him a little more leeway. But I don't think they could after making such big acquisitions between Bethesda and COD. I think they have to justify things more than they used to, right? So he puts the game out everywhere. And then this is starting to make sense to me now. I'm trying to paint a picture for everybody to see. He puts the game out there, and when the game doesn't sell, the last little line of hope for Xbox to be justified to keep them. See, this is not for everybody, but for Xbox to be justified to keep them, it was just gone. You did not have the leader, and I think that was the number one reason. And you had a lot of loss of talent in the studio, so they would have to rebuild the talent in a country where they don't really have a foothold. They don't really have connections and things. I know people think they do, they don't. Okay. And I'm going to come out and say this, and most people probably won't agree with me on this. I don't think Xbox should ever try to buy a Japanese studio. I don't think it's going to ever work. I think they should only do partnerships, because I think you're going to see issues like this happen again.
Mhm.
If Shinji wanted to keep making games, he could have stayed there and continued to make games. But he decided to take the money, go start a new studio from the ground up, take a lot of the talent,
No, he
and
said he was going to retire, and
he
then
said he was going to. He did not do
he
that
did.
though. He lied. And so my point is, I think it's whatever cultural thing, whatever that, I don't think Xbox should ever buy a Japanese studio, and that includes Sega. I think you're going to get the same results. I think they should only do partnerships. And I know that's controversial, but that's how I feel about it. Now, just putting that aside, so with the situation that Xbox is in, they're weak with relations and all sorts of things culturally with Japan, all that stuff. So starting a studio up over there would just be hard for them. It just would. So it just didn't make sense for Microsoft to hold on to them. It didn't. Hi-Fi Rush, they probably would have kept them maybe if they got a better performance for that. They didn't. And so what I'm trying to say is that, but Microsoft being the company that they are, that I respect, they said we're going to try to find somebody else for them. We're not going to just shut them down. We're not going to just wipe them away in the video game history. We are going to try to preserve this studio and preserve what's left of this talent. And they understood they had to give something up to do that. And yes, that Hi-Fi Rush was the IP they had to give up. But you know what this means, though. For those of us who bought the game, for those of us who played it, we get to get a Hi-Fi Rush too. I know that Unlimited owns the game. I think everybody in our panel does. I certainly do.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that Tango is saved just for the sake of being able to make Hi-Fi Rush too. I don't blame um the people who worked on this and stayed with this. That obviously they were left behind. Shinji and everybody else took off. But I'm glad these people get to continue on with their vision, and I can't wait to see what the second one is. I know
Yeah.
this was long-winded, but I just wanted to kind of paint a picture of what I believe went on with this, and I think it's the best case scenario because Tango was still around, even if Shinji abandoned it. Tango still had value as far as what it produced. I still like Ghostwire Tokyo, and I love The Evil Within. Okay, and I still believe that Microsoft can take those two IPs. See, Microsoft is not dumb. They didn't give up all their IP. They understand the value of having IP. They gave them Hi-Fi Rush, a critically acclaimed game, but with less of a studio, and it was enough for Crafton to pick them up. And Crafton, I believe, is a South Korean studio,
Mhm.
so they understand probably the Japanese and Asian market. So they'll probably be able to, you know, salvage Tango and fix it back up and really get the talent that can work on this game, because I know they're going to have to build out Tango a little more because they lost a lot of people, right? So um I just say to Microsoft, the industry may never thank you for what you did, but I thank you for what you did, because I see all the different ways that you are trying to save gaming through this move, or just by letting the studio go, like Toys for Bob, because that's what they wanted. They wanted their independence. And I see what you're doing, and I just say thank you for doing that, and I'm very, very happy with this outcome.
Great point of view there, Daya. Adidas 20 with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Adidas.
Hi
He
Adidas.
said,
Hi
"What's up,
Snooki.
Hey,
everyone, and
Adidas.
welcome back." Yeah,
Cool
it's
man.
great. It's great to be back. I'm a little behind on the chat. I apologize, guys. I'm multitasking here. Hebot, the world's most powerful gamer. You there?
Yeah, yeah, yes, I am.
All right,
Yes, I
so
am.
Hebot,
Hello
so Hebot,
Bebot.
the news dropped about a day ago. Former Xbox studio Tango's Gameworks and the Hi-Fi Rush IP was acquired by Crafted Inc., the guys who run PUBG. And I'd like to
Correct.
get your thoughts on this.
I mean, there's a lot to process, but it's all there, and it's funny because as for usual, the way the media is, and I did a video on this. I just haven't uploaded yet on my
Mhm,
channel, with my, with my thoughts and all the ins and outs. So I
mhm.
try to make it as quick and not too long winded, but it's a lot to really look at, right? Number
Yeah.
one, let's be clear to everyone. It wasn't Crafton that saved Hi-Fi Rush. Okay, it was not Crafton. It was ZeniMax and Xbox by not shutting down Tango Gameworks and looking for a venue and an opportunity and a way to keep the team alive and propose the proposition to sell it to Crafton, which they decided to say, okay, we'll buy in and we'll take them, because I truly believe that what's going on here is, and we all know that they said, a couple of times that they wanted to make a sequel to Hi-Fi Rush, right?
Hmm.
Hi-Fi Rush found success on Game Pass. 2.4 million people played the game. But the problem became that the game dwindled off and died quickly, and it didn't continue to grow, right?
Hmm.
And so, in order for Microsoft to present to their investors the opportunity to make a sequel, they have to see that the game did a substantial amount of money so that it can be worth the risk, right? Because what people don't understand, but they have mentioned it when you were speaking, Microsoft did big acquisitions and investments, right? They are all in on big AAA games. They want to support the smaller games as well, but their whole goal was to establish a big AAA portfolio with big AAA developers. Because the whole time that we've been since 2013 speaking about Xbox has been they only make small games. They don't make AAA games the whole time. Meanwhile,
Hmm.
we have fantastic games like Ori, Cuphead, Max, Curse of the Brotherhood, fucking Crimson Dragon, Local Cycle, right? And
Yes.
and even things like Cuphead, Ori, and what's the other one? Super Lucky Tales, right?
Yes.
These were all games that Microsoft were investing in, pushing, and believed in, while everybody was saying, "Oh, those are kiddie games. We play masterpieces that look like movies," especially on the PlayStation side. And that's what the media ran with as well. Well, Microsoft is no longer in that boat. They said, okay, you want big AAAs? No problem. We'll do that. But by doing this, they have to make sacrifices. So they probably won't be able to push out as much smaller independent games. But in this case, Hi-Fi Rush was a critical success, right? And let's not get the game twisted. Every single game Tango game has done has been fantastic. But the reality is, none of them sold good enough or well enough. Even Evil Within had not enough success. And when they made the sequel, it was the same outcome. Now, Microsoft did keep the Evil Within, and what was the other one that they kept? It was another IP they kept. You guys know what it is. Because those games are a lot easier to make a proposition to their investors to make a third Evil Within would be much easier to propose because it's a much more high quality game as far as the budget and the presentation than Hi-Fi Rush 2. See what I'm saying? Because of the aesthetic and style. So they probably figured, okay, we'll keep these and we could even have Tango do the game, but only exclusive to us working with Crafton. And since Microsoft already had a relationship with Crafton with PUBG, because it wasn't for Microsoft bringing Crafton into the console space, supporting PUBG would have stayed on the PC, would have never came to console. That's why they chose them. That's why they elected them, because they already had an established relationship that was strong enough for them to go, well, we can do these type of deals, and because it's very detailed when they say, so we can do future endeavors and deals with hopefully with Crafton and Tango Gameworks. But the whole idea behind this wasn't because Microsoft, like the media is trying to push. It wasn't like because Microsoft didn't care about Tango, didn't care about the games, didn't respect and appreciate the quality of the IPs. It's because Microsoft wanted to save them so they didn't have to close them down, because originally they say they were going to shut them down. And they didn't hear nothing after that. So that means that whole time they were trying to bake something up to make sure that they didn't have to shut them down and keep them alive. And let's be honest, okay? Let's be honest. Oh, they're filming a movie. Let's be honest. The whole reason and the whole real debacle of Tango Gameworks, it didn't come from Microsoft. That came from their very own leader in Shinji Mikami walking away, stepping away, saying that he was going to retire when that was a crock of shit because he didn't retire. And then a month later or 2 months later coming out talking about, oh, I'm opening up a new studio. We're going to be doing this. We're going to be doing that. If any of, and then have people from Tango go with him to that studio as well. So he took Microsoft money, but then he took off, right?
That's right.
So if he was the first one being their leader that didn't believe enough in staying there and left, and didn't give Microsoft an opportunity to nurture them and take care of them enough and left, then how is that Microsoft's fault that they made sure that they did not close down and sold them to someone that can invest in Hi-Fi Rush 2, because Microsoft already got their hands full on big games and big investments, right? Where their money is already spread it with big numbers, so that they didn't have to sacrifice not making a Hi-Fi Rush 2. They passed it on to someone else that can actually invest their money to make Hi-Fi Rush 2, and we can get the sequel, right? And not only do we get the sequel, we can save the developer.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? And that was the whole intent behind it. And all you've seen is everybody Crafton says Tango Gameworks is Microsoft didn't care about them. Like, what? They owned them, you fucking moron. If they owned them, they could have done whatever the fuck they wanted, like close them down. They didn't do that. And that's what everybody was saying. Oh, they're going to close them down. That's a damn shame. They don't care about China. Listen, bro. I would love to see all the people that actually went out and bought Hi-Fi Rush. I know I did, right?
I did too. Yeah.
I know they did because she just said it, right? I know Unlimited did. I believe Sega Man did as well. And better yet, we have another opportunity to see how much we care about Hi-Fi Rush. Limited Run is doing a physical copy of it. So all those people saying that they love it so much, I better see the Xbox version, or even on PlayStation, be sold out. I better see thousands of copies of Hi-Fi Rush physical that people bought. Yeah. I know I'm buying it, right? And I'm going to show when I get mine. So I want to see everybody and put their money where their mouth is instead of talking shit, because it's easy to talk shit. But these motherfuckers are just clowns. All this is doing, all they want to do is make Microsoft look bad. They're the big bad wolf. Why wouldn't Microsoft want to save a developer that's so talented? That makes no sense. But they have guidelines. And right now, their foot is in deep with big, big investments, with big, big acquisitions, and big titles like Fable, like the Indiana Jones, the upcoming Blade, South of Midnight. Those are bigger titles that they have to either pick Hi-Fi Rush 2 over a Blade, or Hi-Fi Rush 2 over an Avowed, or Hi-Fi Rush 2 over a Perfect Dark. Which one you think makes more sense? The one that has more pedigree and that's more likely to do much better, not only critically but financially. That's the real, mastermind idea that Microsoft had behind this whole move of selling them off, because they did not want to close them down. You can clearly see that. Because if they did, like I said, they would have just closed them down. They would have never kept them open. But it's just funny, like I said, that you see all these media, especially, trying to act as if Microsoft gave it away and that Kraken took care of them and saved them, because Microsoft didn't give a fuck when Shinji Mikami was the first one who left. The one who created the fucking studio left. How does that make it Microsoft's fault? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That makes no sense.
I know.
Right?
Yeah. 100% there, Hebot, and to add, and everybody had some great points. My personal thoughts on the matter, and I could actually speak since it's a smaller crew today. My personal thoughts on the matter, I found it interesting, in particularly selling the Hi-Fi Rush IP, but keeping Ghostwire Tokyo and the Evil Within IPs. Maybe they have maybe they have more plans with those two IPs than they did with Hi-Fi Rush. But Xbox historically doesn't have a problem with their smaller games going elsewhere. We saw this with Cuphead and Ori and all that stuff. And they tend to keep the bigger games for themselves. So I'm not again. Here's where I don't know how to rate this exactly, because a couple of things. One, when Matt Moody made this decision, let's not forget he said that he was moving over staff from Arcane and Tango Gameworks to other parts of ZeniMax. So what employees are going with the Tango Gameworks? I have no clue. As everyone, especially Hebot, has mentioned, the leader whose name I'm not going to pronounce right now. The leader who started Tango Gameworks left, and I believe he started his own.
Shinji Mikami.
Yeah, Shinji Mikami. I believe he started his own studio, another studio.
He did.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Hebot.
No, he said yes, he did. He started it like a month and a half later after he said he was retiring.
Yeah.
He was tired of being in the industry so long.
Yeah, he said he just wanted to relax.
I lost all respect for him.
Yeah, I did too. I looked up because he made the original Resident Evil. I love that game, and I love the games that he made. I like the Evil Within. I like
the body work that he does is not what's in question. I love respect for him because he made Microsoft look bad. Because the first thing everybody said was, "Oh, he's leaving because he don't like Microsoft, but Microsoft don't know how to take care of his people." When that's bullshit.
He didn't last long enough for that,
That's not what it was at all. So I'm sorry. Go ahead, Limit. I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
Yeah, and it's funny, like Hebot said, that the whole gaming media is just trying to paint this as Crafton saved Tango and Xbox is clueless and all this other hot takes that I've seen, and it's so I don't know. It's just with Xbox, I just try to trust their moves basically. Clearly, Hi-Fi Rush isn't an IP that they had extreme value in, to the point that they're perfectly willing to sell it. So if we get a Hi-Fi Rush 2, awesome. You know what I'm saying? From a selfish standpoint, yeah, it's gonna suck that it's not gonna be under the Xbox brand. But Xbox can't have every fucking game, and plus it's probably be on Game Pass anyway.
Exactly.
Two, these games don't sell. I hate to. This is what aggravates me about the discussion when it comes to Hi-Fi Rush. I can't find anybody who posted gameplay. You could find it on my channel, and I've told y'all since day one. as soon as the game was announced, the year it came out, I bought it immediately. I didn't try it on Game Pass and buy it later. Nothing. I
I
bought it
did
as
too.
soon as it was on sale.
I bought it that night, so it was
Yeah,
the same day. Yeah.
yes, exactly, Daya. So as someone who put my money where my mouth is, it's just that when it comes to this and how passionate people seem to be over Hi-Fi Rush, I need to see receipts. You know what I'm saying? He bought. I
Yeah.
need to see. Show me that you bought, play it, or interacted with the game in some way, and you didn't just watch it on YouTube, thought it looked like a cool cartoon, and never looked at it again because it had only on Xbox on the box cover. Because I know for sure when the game went to PlayStation, it didn't even hit the top 100.
It didn't. Other games did better than that game. I
Yeah,
couldn't believe it. I
yeah.
thought Hi-Fi Rush would though.
Yeah, the game didn't even hit the top 100 on PlayStation, and all we ever hear is how those people over there buy games and all that and all them shit, right? So you know, Xbox, you know, to their credit, and like y'all said, putting Tango Gameworks and Hi-Fi Rush in a situation to progress. Hey, good for them. Because on the other side, Sony just killed Gravity Rush in Japan studios when they were done with them. And if y'all listen to me long enough, y'all know Gravity Rush is one of the few PlayStation games I actually like because they actually made something creative and fun. But you ain't never seeing that again because Sony would rather have that die than to see it continue under anybody else's name. You
Yeah.
know, and that's why I like to use their logic against them. You know what I'm saying? If this is Xbox, you know, if Crafton is saving it, then I guess by their own logic, Sony let all them studios they shut down over the years die. Hell, they're letting Bungie die right now by their own logic. You know what I'm saying? So you know, this was again very interesting move. If it leads to Hi-Fi Rush 2, cool. I'm down with that. I love the first game. You know, I'm not someone who thinks only exclusives matters. As though even though like everybody, you know, you buy these consoles for certain series and certain exclusives. But the fact that Xbox is like, all right, cool, we ain't gonna do nothing with it. We're gonna shut down the devs. Y'all take over. Y'all do what you want to do and they got some money out of it that they're going to put towards other games. Hey man, that's like Sega Man said at the start. It's business, you know, and business going to do what they got to do. And it's rare. And here's the thing. And let me also point this out. To listen, guys. If you look at especially all the long running companies, damn near any media company, but I'm gonna focus on video game company like your Segas and Konami's in them. They are sitting on old IPs that they have zero interest in doing anything with. And Xbox could have done that. They could have let Tango go, sat on Hi-Fi Rush, and then 20 years from now, every video would have been making. You remember Hi-Fi Rush and console big boy? It would be cool if we had a new Hi-Fi Rush like people do with the old Sega games. You know what I'm saying? But Xbox, you know, they think that you know they saw some potential out this and maybe Crafton might do something and good for them. But here's the thing. But this is the important part to point out. Kraft is not going to have the same leadership. It's not going to have the same talent, and they're probably going to have to rehire a lot of people
That's
to
true.
replace those
That's
who
true.
are either not leaving Microsoft or left with um
With
I need
Shinji
to
when
write
he
that
took
Shinji. Yeah,
yeah,
thank you.
when he took those people, yeah,
Yeah,
to his new
yeah.
studio.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so this is not a situation where they're picking up all this amazing talent. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? It's similar to how, and I wish Zink was here. I did sing him a link. I wish Zink was here. It's similar to how Bonnie Ross got a lot of Bungie's talent that stayed over at
Yes,
343.
she did. She
Yeah,
did.
and the Bungie that made games like Destiny weren't the same people.
Right.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. And yeah, gaming since the 80s. By the way, let me welcome some to chat who I forgot to welcome. Snooky Jackson, Extreme D, gaming since the 80s. Who else popped in there? Tool
Uh,
Man.
two
Cool,
men.
man.
Yeah.
Gaming
Yeah,
Central.
and I think that's it. Right.
Yep.
And he said, don't forget they gave Toys for Bob their
The
independence instead of
Independence. Right.
closing them. Yep. Others would have closed the studios. Yep, they
Yep.
did. They did. Yeah, yeah. Look, man, they seem to understand what their vision is, what they want to do, and here's the thing: let's not forget, Toys for Bob next game is going to be on Xbox.
Yes, and I think they have a long contract, a partnership where they're going to have toys. They're going to give Toys for Bob lots of work. They're not going to need work. But this is good for Toys for Bob because they get to work on projects they want to do, and they have some independence and oversight on how they do things. And Microsoft still has
Yeah.
access to the talent. They don't have to have everybody up under them, right? If it doesn't fit, or if the studio wants to be independent, or they can't hold on to a studio, okay, they can do partnerships in those cases. But it's not the end of the world. We will still get hi-fi, just like we're still. Well, I don't know what game Toys for Bob is working on. I don't know. I hear it's Spyro or something. I don't know. But whatever they're working on, is great because we know their talent, and they love working on those games. So it's a win-win for everybody, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is, and this is why none of us are super overly reactionary or aren't hyper negative when it comes to everything. You know, because of stuff like that. Because context matters. Context matters. The
Right.
sixth layer here said most folks didn't play it, much less beat it. I beat it 2 weeks after the announcement, but was playing it before then, and the achievements was still diamond. Yeah, man. As fan, and this, by the way, Six Layer, you point out a great point that I've always wanted to point out to people. The quality of the game does not guarantee success. I get I'm sick and tired of hearing this narrative that if only they made good games, But in the history of gaming, we could all go back decades to name great games that failed. Sometimes a lot of times,
That's why they're re-releasing a bunch of them. Like those games with fucking
Yeah.
Shadow of the Dam.
Yo, I pre-ordered Lollipop Chainsaw. You know what it says in the description? The game only sold 1.2 million when it first came out. And I was
Yeah,
like,
but
shit,
that
really?
was with multiple consoles too.
Yeah, and it was released everywhere.
Shadow of the Dam was good. Shadow of the Dam sold like 28,000 copies.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
No. And Sega, man, that game's a bit pricey physical. That
Game is fucking. That's a good ass game. Which
it's getting remastered, so the price is going down. But
which ironically he was involved with too. Shinji Mikami was involved with too. He was involved with the game. Yeah. And then Lollipop Chainsaw was James Gunn involved. He was the one who did that.
Yes.
He's directing now the movies like Guardian. But people might not even know that. But those games are fantastic. Those games, the Star Trek game that failed. So many games failed. It's not a new thing, and that's the whole reason why after 360,
great games.
That's why after 360, so many studios closed down, and that's what Bill was talking about when they started the Xbox One generation in 2013. That exclusives just don't sell the way they used to anymore because it's a different market. That's when more about online multiplayer heavy, gas games, open world games. He said it, and people are like, "Oh, you're crazy! You don't know what you're talking about." Look, dude. Even God of War Ascension did horrible. That game was so frowned upon. People are like, "Oh, it's garbage and shit." And when you go play it, that game is still pretty fucking great. Better than the shit that they do now with the Ragnaroks. The only thing that the Ragnaroks games have that's more sophisticated is the presentation. Which graphics is part of that, and that the story are more in depth. Like they didn't just show you the story via cutscenes like they used to do with the old God of War game. Yeah. But the only reason they did that is because now there's much more talented actors from Hollywood that got involved with games. So they can make voiceovers with a bunch of characters. That's why you have people like what's his name that did the Call of Duty game? The one that was accused of pedophilia. Oh my Jesus Christ.
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey, right? For example, right? You have people like Anthony Hopkins doing voiceovers. It's not just Mark Wahlberg, and not Mark Wahlberg, Mark Hamill, and fucking, Kevin Conroy, which rest in peace, or the other dude that does a bunch of voiceovers for the Batman or for the Nathan Drake and all that shit. I forget his name. Nolan North, which they started their career on doing voiceovers for games. Now you have Hollywood actors, grade A actors, all involved, and so that's why the story has become more cinematic, more heavy driven, right, in the games. But because of that, that's why a lot of games have lost their most important element and formula, which is the gameplay, right? Or variety of gameplay, meaning,
Yeah.
back
Especially
in the
Sony
day,
games.
yeah, especially Sony games, that you would play a game, it would have segments where you're fighting with guns, then it would have a segment where you're riding and having combat in a vehicle. Then there was a segment where you would be on a plane, and then would be a segment where you fought with your hands, or on a motorcycle, or on a ski sled, or in the water, or underwater. That's what I mean with gameplay variety. You barely see that. Now it's a third-person game, and the whole game will be in third-person perspective. You don't even get on a Gatling gun and shoot people. Gears of War still does things like that. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I love Gears so much, right? Because they still do different gameplay variety. That is what makes a game feel fresh, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something like Azura's Wrath. Azura's Wrath was a phenomenal game. Yes, it was heavy on QTE, but it was because it played part with the formula of the gameplay style of the game. And that game failed terribly. And that was one of the best games from last gen that I would consider a hidden gem that deserves a sequel. It was a new IP. It was from Capcom, right? And what has Capcom done? Nothing. Because the game didn't sell for them. So if the game didn't sell for them, Capcom's not going to go, oh, we're going to make another sequel and spend another $120 million and the game don't sell. Nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
You know? That's why we probably haven't seen Pragmata, because Pragmata seems to be a big AAA new IP, and they still haven't talked about it. But you saw we got the smaller game in Path of the Goddess, which is now on Game Pass, and you haven't seen not one PlayStation guy talk about it or play it or show gameplay on Twitter.
That game is fun too. I love
And the
that game.
game is very unique.
It's
it has
very-
a beautiful, beautiful art style.
Yes, it does.
And it has elements of hack and slash. You
Yep.
can play from a top-down perspective. It has strategy base, like the way you did with Pikmin, for example. You know what I'm saying? So again, Unlimited is 100% right. Many fucking games have failed. Many. And he's absolutely 100% right that had they closed down Tango Gameworks, right? Then you would have heard, as the time went on, oh my God, wouldn't that have been great? We would have gotten a Hi-Fi Rush 2, but unfortunately, Microsoft closing them down didn't give them the opportunity to do it, right?
Exactly.
When we all know,
look, I'm already seeing videos like that a decade later from my favorite game of last generation, Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah.
right?
If you look at Sunset Overdrive now, they all love it. All the videos like the most underrated game you never played.
And they did that with Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I'm bitter because I've been praising that game for forever.
Right. I mean, so did I since I played this. It was a very, very, very good game. Very different and unique, and one of the better IPs that Insomniac had created, right? It had a good character customization, great gameplay, multitudes of fucking weapons and different things you could do. It had open world elements. It had,
it had one of the best traversal systems I ever used.
Right. Especially while
the way you move around in that game is so fast and so unique and so fun and so creative.
While you're doing combat,
it's why I roll my eyes at the Spider-Man praise because Sunset Overdrive, if Spider-Man was moved away, you did a Sunset Overdrive. That should have been like 11 out of 10.
I said that a long time ago. I said, look, if you want to be impressed by something, Sunset Overdrive is a much better and much more impressive game than Spider-Man because it has a lot more going on and you can do way more, and it has a lot more creativity than Spider-Man.
And the number of enemies that would be on screen was nuts.
The enemies on screen was retarded. I remember when they said that they chose to do the Xbox version in what was it, in 900p, I think it was, because they wanted more enemies on screen, so they sacrificed the resolution of 1080p versus the 900p because They wanted more enemies on screen and the enemies to have good, like, really good animations and stuff like that. And I think it was for the betterment of the game. Now, what's sad is that Microsoft has never went back and revisited and gave it an Xbox enhanced, update like they did with Recore. I would have wished they did it, but I have a feeling that has something to do with, the fact that Insomniac, never they don't really own that IP. What they own is the publishing rights. But you see, they never sold it to Sony or gave it to Insomniac because they know that they're fucking assholes. Because the whole reason that game was made was because Ted Price was saying, just like Shinji Mikami said, "Oh, we want to be independent. We want to own our IP."
Yeah,
because
that's right. They did say that.
Remember that? Because everything that they ever did with Sony, everything they ever did with Sony took control of the IP. They said, "Oh yeah, we'll make it, but we got to own the IP." And that's what they had to agree upon. And the whole reasoning for Sunset to do the deal with Microsoft was because Microsoft said, "No, you could keep the IP, just make it exclusive to Xbox. We'll help you fund it. We'll help you market it, and the IP will stay yours." And what happened? As soon as they got the opportunity with Spider-Man, they went back to Sony licking their asshole and we're saying on Twitter, "Oh, Spider-Man will never come to play Xbox." Remember that?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Oh, because somebody asked, "Oh, when will it come to Xbox?" Oh, never. That was literally what they said, never.
Yep.
And they said it with their hand held up high, like they were proud of that. Like, yeah, it's never coming to Xbox. Get a PlayStation. You see what I'm saying? Which is why I also lost respect for Insomniac and fucking Ted Price, because obviously they are definitely they were more concerned with becoming a critically acclaimed developer than they were actually about the body of work that they did or the integrity of keeping their word after they said they were going to do one thing and then they end up doing another thing, right? So again, but those are shit that people try to act like, "Oh no, we don't know that, we didn't hear that." Bro, we do. It's all out there. All you gotta do is look it up.
It really is. It really
It's
is.
all out there. So it's not like you can say, "Oh my God, the Limited Truth, Heba, and all them over there, they're just a bunch of liars making up shit." Yeah, okay. You can look it up and Unlimited can put it right there real quick because it's all out there. It's the information there's no way you can hide it. So again, it's all about part of the hate, Xbox hate, hypocrisy, the stupidity, really, the ignorance within the media, within casual gamers that don't really respect and care about gaming. They care more about, "Oh, my console is the shit because it's the number one selling console," and stupid shit like that. Or because we got more exclusives. Like, come on, that shouldn't be the number one reason why you play anywhere. You should be able to play somewhere because you love the games, love the ecosystem, love the console, love the features, love the community that's in that space, and because the games are fun and they're great and they're good to play and fun to play. But that whole thing has been lost. It's been lost. So, but that's why we got to keep on, building the actual real messaging and exposing it, because we are real Xbox fans and we've seen all the shit and bull crap that they've gone through and that people try to lie on and give misinformation and false information in many cases, because we've been there. And we've never made our messaging any different. And for that, "Oh, we don't like them." Yeah, of course you don't like them.
Yeah.
And we're not gonna allow you to say one thing that we know is a lie. We're gonna expose the truth. It's that simple.
Yep. Yeah, exactly, Hebot. Shizno Elite said, "I figured Hi-Fi Rush would do a lot better on PS5 than it did." I didn't. If you go back and watch what I said months ago, Shizno, I thought all four of the games were going to flop. It seems like it seems like Sea of Thieves did all right, but even that player count is crashing.
It did well, but yet they never mention any numbers. So again,
yeah, exactly. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing, and this is my prediction was, especially after they announced 40 million players before it went to PlayStation. I thought, okay, they probably do 1 or 2 million at most, because we haven't seen the 45 million, 50 million graphic yet. So that tells me there ain't no 5 or 10 million players.
Well, I really think Rare thought. I really think Rare thought, because people kept asking for CFDs on PlayStation, that it was going to be a mega hit on PlayStation. That's what I think they thought, and they found out real quick, real fast, that wasn't the case.
Yeah, I think it's a bit more nefarious than that. I think that there are people in Xbox who wants these games every fucking where and don't care one iota of exclusives.
I agree.
That's what I think is going on. Yeah. I think Rare would have been 100% cool if the game never went anywhere. Because it was their most successful IP in a long time.
It was, yeah.
While the PlayStation fans were hating
I was
the game,
saying that the reason why I say that is because
you're breaking up, Hebot. I can't understand what you're saying anymore.
Yeah, Hebot, you're
no. What I was saying, if you pay attention when they did the window, the release trailer, the first thing they showed was all the people on PlayStation so-called saying we want this on PlayStation. That's why I'm saying that they really thought that it would do well, and Microsoft took it as the opportunity. It was like, okay, well, maybe we could put this game and make money over there because they want it, right?
Yeah.
And they found out real quick that wasn't the case. Because again, if it would have done phenomenal numbers, we would have seen already, 2 million players on PlayStation. We haven't seen that. So for me, that tells me they could have had 100,000 players, maybe 200 max, and that's it, which is decent, but that ain't 40 million like it is on Xbox or PC.
Yeah,
see what I'm saying?
And then according to this article I have on screen, PlayStation already lost about 60% of the player base since it launched in April.
Yeah.
So
they kept no interest.
Can we officially get over this myth about PlayStation people buying games? Like 100 been selling y'all for a decade now. They don't fucking buy their.
They don't buy.
That Xbox needs to put the games there because then they'll be able to sell better. That's another myth. That's not true.
Sea of Thieves is. I mean, well, how you don't expect the game to be at its peak all the time. I mean, they had a lot of PC, a lot of Xbox people had already bought it and played it. I bought it on PC. That's how I first found out about Sea of Thieves. So, and they're learning. I think Xbox needs to see this. I think Rare. I agree with you, Unlimited, on that. I think sometimes those studios on the Xbox side be thinking it's the grass is greener on the other side. There, they take for granted what they have on the Xbox side because what they don't understand is that Xbox has more hardcore gamers and not as much casual. That may have flipped now.
They'll play different things like that.
Yeah.
Xbox gamers will play games like that.
Okay,
especially now. Oh, go ahead, Dan.
Okay, yeah, that may have flipped because of what they have with ABK and the type of games they acquired. But there's a lot of hardcore gamers that have supported Xbox throughout the years and have played these games and support these games, and they saw the success with a smaller player count because these are more hardcore gamers. But when you go on the PlayStation side, you are dealing with casuals that can lose interest very quickly. Okay, so this is what I think they're learning because for all the whining for Hi-Fi, look at what happened with that. Oh, that's the perfect game for PlayStation. Oh, that's the perfect game for Nintendo, and it's not going to do well if it ever goes to Nintendo either.
Yeah, and Hi-Fi is not going to sell either.
Have you seen any word on them with CFT saying, "Oh yeah, we're bringing this to PlayStation, we're bringing that"? You haven't heard nothing, right?
No,
because again, like I said, that was a lot of reasons. One, in the case of like Tango, it was to try to see if they can get a second wind, right?
Yeah.
And Pentiment, right, for example, right? Or even Grounded.
Pentiment
but in the
was
case
no
of
harm, so it didn't matter. It was just to see if they get a little bit more money.
They were just trying to see if they can have a second wind, right?
Right.
In the case of Sea of Thieves, is what I told you. More than likely, Rare was like, oh, they really want this. This is going to do well. And then Microsoft said, okay, if it's an opportunity to make money, let's do it. But so they went and did it. So at the same time, they found out that's not the case. But I also said before that Microsoft's still pending with the problems because when Microsoft does anything, they get attacked because they're an American company by these companies, by the government. So in order for them to stay face, if they do any other acquisitions in the future, they can prove, oh, we put games like Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves, Grounded on Nintendo, on PlayStation, and it didn't sell. So how are we monopolizing anything? You see
Right.
what I'm trying to say? It's
Sea of
kind of
Thieves
like
was
for
their
them
most
to cover their
popular.
ground as well. Huh?
So Sea of Thieves was their most popular gas game that was originally made by them. It wasn't acquired. Then you had a critically acclaimed game in Hi-Fi Rush. You had another critically acclaimed game. People don't know that Pentiment won all kinds of awards.
Yeah, it was critically acclaimed. Yeah.
Very good. It's kind of considered more like indie style, but yeah, it's a critically acclaimed game too. It's just very small
Mhm.
game, very
Yeah,
niche,
it got good reviews. Absolutely. Yeah.
very
Yeah.
good, very good. Yeah, so I mean,
Mhm.
people don't know that about Pentiment, but they can joke all they want, but that game was very well received.
Mhm.
And
And
then
so was Grounded. Grounded had 24 million people.
Grounded is a success. I don't care what anybody says about that. That's one of my favorite Obsidian games. I had so much fun with that game. It took me to my childhood when I used to watch Honey I Shrunk the Kids with my dad. Okay, and that I don't make light of that. That it transported me back in that time. And these people get it. That 80s feel, everything. They had everything nailed with that. It was so good.
Right, right.
A lot of people I know who grew up during that time was playing Grounded. You'd be surprised how many adults play Grounded because it just took them back to their childhood, right? So Grounded is a huge success. It's a lot of players that played that game. And
Yeah.
so they didn't just throw junk games at PlayStation. They gave them high quality games. So
Yeah.
no regulator can say anything. They had a popular Sea of Thieves game. They had Hi-Fi Rush, critically acclaimed, very good game. They had Pentiment, again, critically acclaimed game on a smaller scale, like a single A game. And then you had Grounded, a great multiplayer game that anybody, all families can play. So what complaint could anybody say about the games that Microsoft gave? But they didn't give games that would harm their IP. They didn't do
Absolutely.
that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Excellent point there, Day. Shizno Elite said, "Can't wait for." I want to address this comment real quick, just to add, just to tell people what's up with these two remasters. Lollipop Chainsaw. There's a physical version from limited run games you could purchase until I think the end of this month, or digitally. Digitally, I think it's on sale about 20% off, so it'd be like
It's a good
$40
sale.
instead of
I
45.
just
Shadow
saw
the
it.
Dam, which
Yeah.
surprised me, is $25, but it's digital only. It's all
Oh,
digital only, but
really?
$25 remastered, man. So anyone could pick that up. So just wanted
Which one?
to let people know. Was that he bought?
Which one is $25?
Oh, Shadow of the
of the
Dam
Dam.
remastered.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, you can buy physical. We ordered it physical. So
Yeah.
you can get
There's no
physical. So the
physical
only-
version of the remastered though, unfortunately.
Isn't there isn't
No.
for Shadow of the Dam, really?
Yeah, right. For the only the remastered is what I'm saying. There's a physical
I thought,
version,
I
the
thought it was.
360 version.
Yeah, I'm talking about the remaster. I thought Limited Run was doing it. That's
Oh, okay. Thank you for correcting me, because the physical is only PlayStation 5. There's no Xbox physical version.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what I meant.
That makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's smart. Yeah, just
Yeah.
lock out a whole segment of gamers. Yeah, that's very smart.
Yeah. So I want to add that context there.
Yeah.
Dplay said rumor Forza Horizon 5 going to PlayStation. I think I might. I just saw that too. Dplay, I might talk about it at the end of the show. We'll see. But we're going to move on to the next topic in a second. I'm just addressing the chat real quick. Faded. Hey, what's up, Faded Blaze? He said, rest in peace to Tom Warren's career at the Verge. Yeah. Daya talked about it a little bit. And by the way, can we got to call out the media because when Insomniac had them leaks, they all threw a fucking pity party
Yes,
for
they
Insomniac.
did.
They did not want you talking about anything Wolverine or X-Men or Spider-Man 3, which might be sold to you in 3 parts. They didn't want you talking about none of that. But they have no issue. Once again, when a leak is Valve, Xbox, or anybody else, they have no issue. Tom Warren, come on, man. Shouldn't you be parading that we should be protecting Valve? This is stuff that we talk about, man. While we don't understand.
I know how I've been saying he's a fool.
What was that?
Saying he's a fool for the longest time.
I can't hear you.
I can't understand what you're saying, Hebot. I'm sorry. You sound like you're muffled.
Yeah. Shiznell, I think the experiment of putting those 4 games elsewhere ended up being a failure. I think so too because
I agree.
I know
Yeah,
for sure. I know. I literally was putting on screen at the time. Pentiment didn't crack the top 200.
it
Hyper
didn't.
Rush
Yeah.
didn't crack the top 100.
Yep.
Grounded didn't. I haven't seen Grounded crack anything.
I
And
haven't, and I can't believe it. I just can't
yeah,
believe it.
I can't because listen. I was saying this. Look, I may have been wrong about the games going to PlayStation, and I don't mind admitting when I'm wrong. But I was not wrong when I was saying that they were not going to buy them games. It was not happening under any stretch of the imagination in any large significant number.
Right.
Distributors might look at Sony having I don't know what number it is now, 60 million PS5s, and think, well, they're way ahead of PlayStation, so we got a lot, but it never ever works out that way. You know what I'm saying? And now this just has exposed them more than ever. Those PlayStation fans don't buy games; they just cat farm. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
it.
Well,
Yeah,
and
it's
to
a
be
victory
fair,
for them.
and to be fair, when every game today is being sold at $70 and you have no other option of playing them, I wouldn't buy. I can't buy every game either.
That's true.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And I buy
Yeah.
a lot of damn games, man. And even I'd be passing on games all the time and thankful that Xbox has some games day one because
Right.
I know I can. You know what I'm saying? Like the beauty, like what Xbox has done for me, Dea, is that it allowed me to buy some other games I'm interested, and I can get the
Okay.
Game Pass games a little later. You know what
Later,
I'm
right?
saying?
Yeah, that
But
you
still
like.
play them day one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now you know what I'm saying. But with that said, I will say this, and just me personally, I do try to buy the exclusives day one. I don't know why.
Oh, okay.
I don't need to. But when
Yeah.
it comes to the exclusive, I do. I don't. And I'm not batting 100 with that because I bought games like Grounded on sale. You know what I'm
Oh, you
saying?
did. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
But
bought. I
I
got
did
in on
buy.
Crowded early
Yeah.
access, so I had a discounted price
Yeah.
because it wasn't a full game yet, but
Right.
I still enjoyed it. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, so yeah, and the new rumor going around, I ain't gonna talk about because I don't fucking deal with rumors. Is Forza Horizon 5 going on PlayStation? And for the record, I don't believe it.
I
You know what
don't
I'm
either.
saying?
That's too. You
Yeah,
know why? Why would it go to PlayStation? They got what's the game they got? What's that? That card game they got? I can't think of it.
Gran Turismo.
Gran Turismo. Thank you. Why do they need to do that? They don't need to do that. That's not. They already have their own.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
in my opinion, I would keep that to the
yeah,
Xbox ecosystem. That it doesn't
hmm
need to go everywhere.
yeah. And look, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But come on, man, that's a rumor that's just ridiculous to me. You know what I'm saying? Um, but and by the way, look, if it happens, I think it does confirm my theory.
What?
That's because Gamescom's around the corner and they're trying to kill the thunder. That's all it is.
Ah, that's it. That's it.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
That's
That's
all it
That's
is.
right. Gamescom, I
They're
think, is
trying to
next
create
Saturday.
negative Xbox news. I'm telling you.
Yeah, you're
It's
right. I
like
forgot about
clockwork.
that. Yep.
Yo, but other Zink just jumped in, man. Zink,
Oh,
what's
hey,
up, man?
Zeke, you stranger, you.
Real quick, and I apologize,
What's up, Zink?
man. Kid going to school. My mother. Oh, what's up, man? My mother almost rear-ended me today. She
uh,
spilled all of the candy that I bought her all over the floor. I had to go back to Albany's to buy more candy. Then I came
Uh,
home and my internet was out. Dude, I couldn't get on this show for shit. And now I have to go back to my mother's house. But I'm gonna say this: he about hit the nail on the head. Dude, they ain't getting no damn games. The PS5 can't even run Forza Horizon 5. What the hell they think this shit is? And I heard real quick, man. I'm gonna say this and get out of here before my mother hear me riled up. It the I heard Destin, Ryan, and Paris did a show talking about the demise of Xbox. And this is why I tell people it's because
hey,
we
your
had
body's
all
really, really bad here. I think we have a connection problem. uh,
and
Zink, we have a connection problem. No one can understand you right now.
yeah.
y'all.
What is
Look,
going on? Because first it was Hebot and now Zink.
yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Zink. Can you pop out and then pop back in real quick?
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
you
Hey,
there, Zink?
I got kicked out and then I came back in.
Yeah, he did. So I
Yeah,
don't know what's going on. Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. But until they get back, let's move on to the next topic real quick.
Brother
Okay.
Unlimited.
Yeah,
Yeah, man, just like Hebot said, it's like clockwork. They're not going to get Forza Horizon 5. And let's just say for some crazy reason that they did. they're not going to support the game. They're not
No.
going to buy the game. They're not going to support it. Every game that we gave them, they don't support, or it doesn't get enough support. Man, it does okay, but they don't give it. They don't support them like that.
Yeah. No, if you don't mind, Sega man, let me correct you there. The games that go there don't do okay. Uh, um, Sea of Thieves might have done okay,
It
but the
might
other
have
ones just
done.
flat out
Yeah.
flopped, Sega man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but hey, Hebot, can you hear us?
Hello, Ebot.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Guys.
Okay.
Oh,
All right,
okay,
cool,
because
cool.
you
Yeah,
were
so
so we couldn't even understand you. I'm sorry. Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. So the next topic.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, the next topic. And the reason why I want to talk about this and juxtapose it with the Hi-Fi Rush stuff is because anytime the Xbox news come out, the reaction is always the same. So I feel like I need to remind people that Xbox lineup for the next 16 months is actually insane. And here's the kicker: what you see on the screen is not even everything coming out between now and next year, because it doesn't show third-party content like Stalker 2, which by the way, Xbox been promoting that game hard lately.
Oh man, that
Yeah.
looks good. Yeah. Did you
Yeah.
guys see that deep dive?
Yeah, I did.
Oh
and,
man.
and it's this image also doesn't show another 2025 game that's coming out, Perfect Dark. Hey, Zink,
Don't
what
go
were you
down to
saying
that
though?
together thing. I gotta
Do I
go.
sound better now?
Yes. Yes. Much better.
Okay, hey, real quick. I apologize, dude, for missing out. I don't know if y'all heard me, man, but my mother almost rear-ended me today. She spilled all of her
Uh-oh. What the heck? Zinc, you just went out again.
Ah, damn.
What the heck is going on?
phone and my
You know
internet
what?
is out.
Speaking of stalk, you know what it is? Speaking of Stalker Day, Zink Stalker Mark Zerny's getting his ass. That's what it is.
Am I still?
No,
Am I
yeah,
still? I'm still botting a little bit.
yeah, you dropped out there and then just
Yeah.
came back. So I don't know what's going on.
It's all right, man. Hey, but anyway, I'll listen to the rest of the show, dude. I can't get on anyway. But Hebot was right. They just smearing things because Sony can't go to Gamescom. I'll talk to y'all later.
All
Okay.
right, Zink.
Thank
Yep.
you, Zink.
All right, Zink, man. I can't wait till you be able to come back full time, man.
Yeah.
I miss you, brother.
Yeah.
Robert Jr. with the super chat says somebody tells these PS fanboys to take a break. Hashtag King Xbox. Yeah, man.
Right.
I wish they did, but Robert, I don't think they have jobs, so they gotta fill their time doing something, man.
Yeah. Oh, also I wanted to say hi to Realist. He's in the chat.
Oh yes, that's
What,
right, the
Realist?
realist. Dang, forgot to shout out the homie the realist,
Yeah. Let
man.
me just check and make sure. Oh, Faded Blaze, did we call him out?
Mhm. Yeah,
Okay,
Faded Blade.
Blaze. I'm just making sure we're not missing anybody. And of course,
Yeah, and
Robert
Craig
Jr.
Simmons. I forgot to shout out Craig Simmons. Man.
Craig
What's up,
Simmons.
Craig?
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, but so this topic here, the reason why I wanted to talk about it is that whenever Xbox has negative news, everybody has the same extreme over the top reaction, and so I like to come here and just remind people that no, Xbox is fine, and what you see on screen is just a sliver of all the content coming over the next 16 months from around late August, September 2024 through next year, and what I find brilliant about this image, right, is that, like I was trying to say earlier, Daya, Sega Man, and Hebot, it doesn't even show everything. It's only showing some of the first party content. It's
That's
not
right.
showing some of the third party stuff like Stalker 2, which
Right.
they're promoting heavily now, right? And oh man, I forgot.
Well,
to
they
mention
have
that.
exclusivity for that, 100%
Yeah.
exclusivity for that.
Yeah,
they,
and,
they completely funded it. Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
yeah, that's right. That's especially after the whole Ukraine war, because
Right,
that's where the game's developed.
Right.
They funded it even more after that.
Yeah, they did
So-
after that. Yeah.
And I forgot to mention this with the Hi-Fi Rush thing. I think another part it didn't succeed was that it didn't have marketing. It was just shadow drop.
Oh yeah. That's
But we got to move on. We're already over an hour. So Sega Man
Yeah.
101, the number one with the gun, man. Look at this image on screen and tell me what flaw. Does Xbox even have a flaw in their lineup anymore? Could you see a variety of game, a bunch of first party stuff? Every game is different. Every game is unique. So and plus Sega Man. And the second question is, does seeing this image, knowing that all these games are hitting Game Pass and Xbox, does it kind of make the loss of Hi-Fi Rush even not hurt as much?
Man, the lineup you see on Unlimited Truths and Unlimited Screen is phenomenal. this also makes up for people wanting to say, oh, you know, Game Pass is going up. If you look at these games on here, look at the value right now. Look at the value right now here. There's one game in here in particular that costs more than 3 months of Game Pass, and that's the Call of Duty game.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
expensive.
That's
yeah.
the Call of Duty game. That's a $60, $70, $80 game in some
Yeah.
in some sense. Indiana Jones, my game, Dark Ages Doom, Fable, Avowed, which is a game that is very anticipated. People are waiting for Diablo. There's just so many games in here. It's incredible. World of Warcraft, games like that, man. That's a game I actually want to try to play. I actually want to try to get into World of Warcraft. I want to try to get into that game, and I like some of the Diablo games. You know what I mean? So this is a fantastic lineup right here. Call of Duty 6, man. That's big.
That's a big
huge.
one. Yeah.
That's a huge big boy that you see here on the buffet. As Sega Man always say, we're eating good over here. This is a good buffet we got right here, man. This is a fantastic buffet. There's all kind of flavors and tastes that you're going to get out of all these games, man, making it worth the value of your buck in Game Pass, bro. You don't have to buy these games day and date. But some of these games you see on here that are not exclusive, you have to buy it on another system. You have to pay the full price.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to pay full $70, $80. You know what I'm saying? So, man, this is a very, very good lineup. And then we got my game, a most anticipated game, E-Day, Gears of War. That'll be coming out.
Wait a minute, where's that at? I don't even see that on the chart. When is that supposed to come out?
What game?
Gears E-Day. When is that supposed to come out? Gears of War?
Yeah. Again, well, that's what I mean. That's the whole and more part on the bottom.
Oh,
right.
okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about there. That's because I'm a big, huge, massive gearhead, and it's going to be a great game. But before that comes out, Dea, man, look at this buffet. Look at this buffet, man. I'll be playing Indiana Jones. I'll be playing Fable. I'll be playing especially Doom, Dark Ages, Avowed. I'll be playing all these games to wait for my game, which is the E-Day, Gears of War E-Day. So, hey, this is a great lineup, man. This is a very good lineup of games that we got here, man. So it's just a bunch of hate, bro. It's just a bunch of hate with them wishing that our games are coming over. It's just the same thing over and over and over again, man. With these lineup of games, I don't see Xbox going anywhere. I don't see no signs of Xbox being dead. Nope. I don't see no sign of them getting out of the console business. I don't see no signs of them getting out of the business and forever. You know what I mean? This is a great lineup of games, man. Now if you look at our itinerary of games coming out, put it side by side with Play. What do they have coming out? They don't have nothing whatsoever coming out. Not to this extent that you see on our screen, guy. They don't have nothing. Not many games like this coming out. Nothing compared to this right now.
They don't have any games coming out.
Yeah, that's what I mean. What for another 12 months? Something like that, 11 months, something like that. They don't have nothing. Gaming since 1980, I think, said it last time on the Unlimited Truth that they don't have no games coming out for. I think he said 11 months or something like that. They don't have no games coming out right now, man. And if they do, it's only going to be maybe one or two.
Mm-hmm.
Look
Yo,
at one.
Sega Man. Let me just add some context, and you could continue. The old Sony CEO said at the beginning of this generation that they're going to put out less games.
Yeah.
Yep.
They did. It's not. And then, what are you not hearing no more? Unlimited. Not trying to get off topic. I'm not hearing nothing more about this fantastic PlayStation 5 Pro. You're not hearing nothing about that either. I'm not hearing nothing about that. It's crickets about that right now.
They bring that out, they're dead next gen, so they better hold on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. First Lady of X, yeah, they're dead. You know what I mean? It's
they
just
can't afford to. And nobody's going to keep buying systems. It's just they can't. They need to put that funnel that money into new games and try
yes, they do. They need to focus more, like you said, First Lady of X. They need to focus more. And they know this. They need to focus more on software. It's not about your PlayStation 5. It isn't. It's about the software. It's always been about software. That's what they need to focus on more, not bringing out a PlayStation 5 Pro that can just do a little bit more. It's not about that, man. It's about the software, and they don't have the software to back up that system, that behemoth of a system that they have. They don't have it. They just don't. Software is
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Extreme D is right. Astrobot is coming. That's what they got coming out.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I
That's
forgot
right.
Oh
about that.
yay,
Yeah.
Astrobot, yay! I mean, how long are they going to be playing Astrobot? Like for
Yeah.
a couple weeks? It's Astrobot's better than Evolve, man. You can do this and that. That's what they do. They try to put these little games up against big games. Yeah, it's better graphics. It's 120 frames.
The biggest hypocrisy about that Sega man, is that when we were touting Ori or Cuphead or or Super Lucky Seals, it was all a big fat joke. Oh, y'all got nothing but kiddie games. But now,
Yep.
Astrobot is a game of all games. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the hypocrisy.
And I'm calling it now. Jeff Keighley's going to put Astrobot on his Game of the Year
I
list.
agree.
I'm
agree.
calling it right now.
We should
That
do
game-
a poll. Do a poll on
That game is 1,000,000% going to be on his Game of the Year award.
You know he's not going to hesitate, because since It Takes Two won Game of the Year, and that would be considered kind of a kiddie game as well in the style and aesthetic. He's going to be like, oh, yeah, it's definitely got to be nominated. Like,
Yeah.
even Horizon Lego, man, he'll nominate that shit in some other area as well, I'm pretty sure.
Yo. This is how grimy the award show's going to be. Indiana Jones not going to be there because it's going to release in December.
Somebody's playing a game. I just
Yeah, that was Sega Man out there playing Pac-Man while we're live. Hey, Keybot, you there?
Yeah,
Sound like you got cut off. It sounded like you got cut off in the middle of the sentence.
Hey,
yeah.
Pac-Man, my bad.
The Pac-Man world is the shit. 1 and 2. This is all.
Yo, G out here.
Right, who said something about Pac-Man? What happened?
Oh, Sega Man playing Pac-Man in the background.
Oh, yeah. Leave it to Sega Man to go retro.
Yeah.
Right on live.
Yeah, but Sega Man, you got anything else to add?
No, the other thing else I could say, guys, to land my plane is that, like I said, if you look at the itinerary on Unlimited Screen, these are fantastic games that we got coming out, going all through into the next year and the holiday. This is great lineup of games that we got coming out. Look, Unlimited, Hebot, and Dea. I mean, it's really hard. And when I say this, I mean this. It is really hard to keep up.
Yes.
We're playing games right now, and I'm loving it. I don't care. Keep bringing them, Phil. Keep bringing them, Sarah. It's Vaughn. It's hard to keep up, but hey, I don't mind it. Just keep them coming. Keep them coming, man. The Game Pass. I try every last single game that goes in the Game Pass, man. I just keep it coming, man, because this is a great lineup, and some of these games are going to be really, really big for the system. There's a lot of people waiting for Fable.
Mega Man, we have to remember that this is not even including all the other stuff like third party that is also coming.
Yeah.
Whether it's on Game Pass or not. And we got Space Marines 2, which is a very big one, right?
Oh, yeah.
We got Replaced that was pushed back now to February of next year as well, I think. Which is an exclusive on Xbox, even though it's third party. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff that we probably haven't even seen or heard of yet. We'll probably get announcements in Gamescom, because they already said that in Gamescom they will have more announcements, new announcements, and new release dates, right? So, I think it's just going to be the sky's the limit. I mean, Hellblade, the people that did Hellblade, they already supposed to still be working on Mira, right? Project Mira. The people who did Psychonauts, they said they were working on their new game already as well.
I can't wait to see what they're working on. It's
Schaefer, right? So again, it's like the biggest problem that you have being an Xbox gamer, right? And I say Xbox because Game Pass is the only place he's giving you a bunch of new games, old games, small games, big games, independent, AAA, doesn't matter. They're the only place that you're giving it to you on top of everything else we get, right? The real big problem that we have is trying to make time to play these games. It's it. Bottom line. That's the only problem we have. And it's a good problem.
Yeah.
So to sit there and doom and gloom and complain, that's just because you either just like one set of games, or you're just a casual gamer. You're not really a actual hardcore gamer. You know, gamers enjoy all games, good, small, bad, big. It don't matter. You know what I mean? Then we also got even remasters of games that should do better, because a lot of those games that are being remastered, like Lollipop or like Shadows, did not do well when they came out. So they're being reintroduced, and hopefully it can invigorate a new audience, right? So if you never played them, now is the perfect opportunity to play them at a higher quality, right? At a better quality, added content, and there's no excuse not to play. So if you never played Johnny Lollipop Chainsaw, you never owned it, now's the time, right? Same thing with Shadows of the Dam, especially if it's only $25 digitally. There's definitely no excuses. There's just no excuses. The amount of games it's insane. It's insane. It's insane. You know? So people saying, oh, there's no games to play, or like when you see people like Dustin Legary and IGN trying to say, oh, or Paris Lily saying, oh, it's just that they haven't had enough influx of games. Bro, Microsoft
that's been a lie. That's been a lie for 3 years.
Oh yeah, for real.
Like,
because they're trying to say that they haven't had a game hit like with big game like God of War.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean they haven't had games.
Which is such a weird lie. You know what I'm saying? Because just last year, Starfield was Bethesda's biggest launch ever.
Right. Even Redfall had success, even though it had backlash. It was still people that enjoyed the game and really genuinely liked it.
Hi-Fi Rush blew everybody away. And
same thing, Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah. Forza Motorsport did excellent.
Right,
Forza Horizon did phenomenal.
Halo Infinite. Forza Motorsport.
I know it's cool to pretend to hate Halo nowadays, especially now that Bungie's under Sony and everybody could pretend that they cried Destiny. But Halo had like 30 million players its first month.
It did.
Right.
Month. So whenever they say this is what drives me crazy about the gaming media guys like Paris Lily and Destin. They live in this weird reality where I don't know what they see. I genuinely don't know, because they keep coming to these wrong conclusions, right? And they're conclusions that are not only incorrect, but you could literally just type in any search engine about these sales and the player bases and see that they've been massive successes, and they just ignore it. And then they just keep pushing the same weird lie that these Sony games are doing so well.
Dude, Flight Simulator did well for them.
Yes.
It's been well the entire time.
Yeah,
games that you wouldn't think, right? The other game that came out, The Ascent, it was exclusive for like 3 years on Xbox. It did well. It was critically acclaimed. Nobody talked about it, and it came to PlayStation. Nobody talked about it.
No, nobody.
You know what I mean? The Artful Escape, Ravenlock, the Adventures of Benedict Fox, Harold Halibut, The Gump, Crossfire X, Bright Memory Infinite. Like, the list, don't come to me because I'll give you the list. There's many games. It's just you're not playing them. And if you're not playing them, that's not that there's no games. That's a you problem, because you only like one certain type of game, and your fucking palette of games is garbage. It's one-dimensional. It is that simple.
And we're not going to let them get away with it. We're not going to sit there.
No, absolutely not.
Like when the Avowed was first delayed to February, Destin Legary, self-proclaimed Xbox fanboy Destin Legary, by the way, went on and said that Xbox lineup is then. And that's why I have this image on screen today. Because no, it's not. And by the way, this is just the first party stuff. And by the way, and more, that's Missing State of Decay 3 2025 release, and Perfect Dark 2025 release. You know what I'm saying? And it does have third party games like Stalker 2 coming out this November.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So when they keep that's why it drives me nuts, Sega Man, Daya and Hebot. When these guys with larger platforms than us keep saying things like Xbox need to be exactly like PlayStation and Xbox lineup is then, that tells me, you know what that tells me? They don't turn on their Xbox. And okay, you don't turn it on, cool, but don't talk about the fucking console then. because you're not gonna be talking about this nonsense about how Xbox lacks this and that when they got the most diverse lineup of first party content I've ever seen, and then they had to put and more on their own image because they can't fit all of it. You know what I'm saying? They can't fit it all. I like Xbox lineup is so deep. They had the reason why Avowed was not delayed because of development issues, or bugs or nothing. The game is the Obsidian been saying for months. The game is ready. It's just that Xbox just needs to give them a window to succeed. That's literally it. That's literally it. Because they knew that if they release it in October, that's Call of Duty. If they release it in November, that's Flight Simulator and Stalker. First party consoles come out the same month.
Sim, you got Towerborn, you still got Stalker, you got Indiana Jones. It's too much, and then you got the Shattered Space. You got our. These are PC games up here. I think our History Untold. Age of Mythology.
Yeah, Age of Mythology come to Xbox.
Okay, both of those come to Xbox. Don't
yes,
they?
They're both come to
never
Xbox.
Mind. That's both.
The only PC only one is World of Warcraft, but even that's still a huge deal.
Right, that's huge. That's really huge. Yeah.
So all Xbox did was look at this calendar. It's like, oh snap, we got too much stuff.
It's too much.
Let's put the game in a time window. We don't usually.
How is a new IP? They don't want it to fail. It's a new IP.
Exactly.
So the smart thing is, let's give it a window where it comes out by itself, or at least with not so much traffic, and people will pay attention to the game. You know what I mean?
And then for us RPG lovers, the new Dragon Age game was coming out in October.
Oh yeah, which actually was pretty awesome too.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about Dragon Age.
Assassin's Creed Shadows come out in November. Yeah. So there was nowhere for it to succeed. Right, so we did the right move and pushed it back, and that's
I'm sorry.
That's coming out next month, man. That game's just 3 weeks away.
That's crazy.
You know what's another great game, guys? You know it was another great game that I beat when it first came out on Xbox. That a lot of people don't talk about no more, but it had a very good art form, and it was a very cool, weird game. Was called High on Life.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
yes.
High on Life. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. High on Life. Excellent game.
I went on and bought that.
Wait, that was remember Sega,
which was also exclusive for Xbox for like at least a year or 8 months, and nobody played it on PlayStation either.
No,
I bought that game. Here's the kicker. Game Pass.
here's the kicker. The add to what Sega Man just said. Sega Man. Hi-Fi Rush was Game Pass biggest third-party launch game ever at the time.
Yeah.
Ever. Yeah. So miss me on this. You know what I'm saying? It goes to PlayStation, and it might as well just like let me quote. You know who I'm a quote this when I say this. I'm a quote Sony when they during the FTC trial or whatever country they were talking to. Games on Game Pass are just de facto exclusives. Because the PlayStation fans don't buy it when they realize the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They and then like somebody in chat also had a good point about PlayStation gamers. Let me see if I can find it again. Where is it? Is it this? Sony releasing games. Oh, here, yeah. The realist said Sony releasing games isn't really a benefit. They've trained their consumers to buy third-party games.
That's true.
You see?
That's absolutely true. And that's not going to go away overnight either.
No. But with that said, Daya, Daya, you see what's on screen. Yep. I need to get your thoughts. Is this one of the best first-party lineups from any console producer? Especially in the short amount of time, like the next 16 months, Daya, from late August to 2025. I can't, and I can't think of launches this phenomenal since the early days of the Dreamcast. That's the only, and that was 25 years ago. So, Daya, I need to get your thoughts. What do you think about Xbox first party lineup?
First party only?
Yeah.
Oh, well, can I talk about Tower?
No. Not. I'm sorry. Thank you for correcting me. I mean, just their lineup in general, because on the Limited Truth, we don't discount games.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I was going because
thank you for correcting me there. No, because you're absolutely right. We don't discount games over first party. If it's on Xbox, it's an Xbox game,
and it's fully funded because Xbox did pay for Towerborn as well as Stalker at this point. And
Towerborn's first party according to this list, so.
Is it? Oh,
Well, according to this list, it is.
okay.
Because that's what it says at the top. Announced first party Xbox games. So I'm
Okay.
taking them at their word.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I know that Xbox said they view any game that they fully fund as their game.
yeah,
It's their IP, their
as
game.
they should.
Yeah.
As they should, exactly.
They're just
So yeah,
hiring out the talent, but it's their game. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
So
That's
so
how they
so let
look
me
at it.
get your thoughts on this, Daya. To me, it's an incredible lineup from basically next week till 2025.
Okay. To me, this is incredible. What this tells people, just by looking at this, you see what's coming out this year and what's coming out next year. And I would say this: I'm so glad you brought this, because this is what was on my tongue. Avowed did not get moved because the game is in development hell, or that it's they're behind schedule. They can release it today if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
It's been ready. We've been seeing gameplay of it. It's ready. The only thing they
Yep.
had to do was fine tune it, and everybody always wait at the very end to do that anyway. So they've been ready. Obsidian, they pretty much told you about practically the whole game if you've been following along, because they've had different times when
Mm-hmm.
they've shared more information on the game. So Avowed is ready. This is no cap. That game is ready. I just think that I think Matt Booty, he did say that this was a major problem for him, and this one that he's going to have to learn over time. He don't know where to place games anymore. And
Yeah.
when you have games like World of Warcraft, you got games like Call of Duty's your yearly thing. Flight Simulator is a new game. People keep confusing that. That is not the other Flight Sim. That's a completely different game. This is Flight Simulator 2024, where you have careers and all. It's a different game. It's still Flight Simulator though. Okay, so that's why they got the number there, 2024.
Mm-hmm.
It's a new game. So you got another Flight Sim. You know, you got new IP. You got older IP, but a newer version like Flight Sim. You got brand new IP that's like AA, like Towerborn. You got Call of Duty, which is a yearly game. You got Diablo expansion pack and World of Warcraft, which is that one's very big. That's a huge one that
Yes.
they have. Shattered Space. Why is nobody talking about that? Because when Bethesda drops a DLC, I'm telling you, they drop in like half of a game, man. That thing be big. It has a lot of stuff in it, and so I'm really looking forward to Shattered Space. And Aura and H Mythology. I've actually seen people talk about these games, knowing it's coming to Game Pass or Xbox, and they're excited. This is their kind of game. So I'm just saying, do not dismiss those games either. Those games are highly sought after, and it's very popular. And yes, PC people like it, but so does console people. Don't think that game is not going to appeal to the Xbox gamer. Okay, so Diablo. Do I need to say more? That game pushed Game Pass sub, so that's all I need to say about that game. So this is our year. This now, and Towerborn and Stalker are fully funded games. Now they're fully funded. They're going to be exclusives to Xbox, and so you got a first-person shooter, and that game is big too. If you guys look at the deep dive, just look at Stalker 2's deep dive. It's excellent. If you
Yes.
like those type of game, you're gonna love Stalker 2. And I want to see more on Towerborn. I've been really looking forward to that game. I know that's a smaller game. It just fits.
If you enjoy
I like
Guardian
brawlers.
Hero, if you enjoy Guardian Heroes on the Saturn, which you could also play it on the Xbox back companion, it's only $5.
Okay.
Shameless plug, right? Right?
It's similar to that because
Absolutely, you should absolutely love Tower. That's exactly what it reminds me of. It's a hack and slash RPG.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay, cool. I love that kind of stuff. That's that those games are fun to me. Okay, I like those kind of games. So, and I'm so glad that Xbox is making one. Just saying. But okay, and last but not least, we just talking about 2024 here. Indiana Jones. Need I say more? It's some people who do not even play games that's going to buy Indiana Jones.
Absolutely.
To them, this is a sequel to the movies. That's how they're treating it. Okay, so that's how big that game is going to be. I'll be shocked if it's not.
You see videos I do. If you type up Indiana Jones, there's mad people saying, "Oh, I can't wait to buy the Xbox to get this game."
Non-gamers are talking about that game and talking about purchasing it. So I was like, how you're gonna have to get an Xbox to get it? No. So think about all the money they're going to have to invest in Xbox just to get access to Indiana Jones. So
wait until fucking GTA comes out next year.
I know.
GTA is gonna move all types of consoles and motherfuckers. That all this rhetoric, which I also did a video. You should see it up after this podcast. because I
Okay. Okay.
postponed it until the podcast was over, so it wouldn't interrupt Unlimited. Right?
Yeah.
You're gonna see my thoughts on the whole Xbox
Mhm.
gonna get out of the hardware business because they're not
I
selling
know
enough or
I still
fast
see the
enough.
stupidest
Right?
thing I've ever heard.
When you see GTA next year and the numbers of the hardware go up by like 10 or 20 million, watch all that shit. Stop talking. Watch everybody stop talking.
Yep.
The
Yep.
rumor is that Microsoft might have the marketing rights, and if they do, that'll be a big push for them.
Ooh, that would be big if they get marketing. If they don't
A
need the
big push for them.
yeah, if they get marketing, that's all they need. That's all
Mhm.
they need. They don't need anything else.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Just market the game. Make a custom console. Do something. Whatever.
and combine
You
that
know?
with their first party releases. Let's look at what it's coming out next year, right? GTA.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Look at okay, so
That
then
might
you got Avowed, South of Midnight, Doom, The Dark Ages, Fable with that game, and they have
Don't
marketing.
Yeah, this is
Plus
why I wish that they
PS5.
put State of Decay. You know, sorry to cut you off there. I wish they
Uh-huh.
put State of Decay 2 and Perfect Dark images up there because those at the showcase they both had 2025. So
Absolutely.
that's
They-
6 first party games
Matt
right
is pushing
there.
something out. Matt's pushing. I think he's he's gonna have a problem every year at this point.
Yeah.
He pushed the Vow over to next year. He's gonna have to bump something else. I think he's gonna keep doing that.
1,000,000%.
He's got a good problem. I'm
Don't-
not saying
don't-
that in a bad way though. You know?
Yeah. But continue, Dea.
Yeah, that just blew my mind because if they have all that plus their first party stuff, and that's not including Game Pass stuff, that oh my god, you're gonna be in a coma as an Xbox gamer, a literal coma. You're gonna be in a hospital bed playing because you're gonna like put all your energy into game after game. It's just gonna be crazy. But yeah, our 2024 is incredible, and I know
Mhm.
people dismiss like DLCs and things like that, but they're huge. Just like they were huge for PlayStation or whoever played the Destiny stuff. That used to be big when they dropped that stuff, and that's okay. That's cool. But it's going to be big for the Xbox games too. I mean, if you Diablo Vessel of Hatred looked like a big deal. They made sure you knew about. They marketed the heck out of that thing, and they put a lot into that next one. I think people are going to have fun with that. And World of Warcraft, I know for certain the War Within is big. Okay, so those people can't wait for that thing to drop. I got friends who play that, so they can't wait for that thing to drop. So I can just tell you know how you keep your games alive. You do what Diablo and World of Warcraft is doing. That's what you do. And Xbox is showing the world how you handle those type of games. But this is big because they're giving something to everybody. This game it has something for everybody, and that's including with Stalker as well. So I just think it's great, and I actually agree with Matt. He needed to push Avowed out. It's just too much, and you don't want your games cannibalizing each other. You just don't want that, So I'm glad he did that. So looking at next year, my mind is blown. If GTA, if let's say that Xbox get that marketing, then they got their first party plus the Game Pass offerings. It's just all I can say is why you want anything else but an Xbox?
And what's that? And what is that called there? What you just mentioned. What is that called?
What I just mentioned.
Yeah, about moving over the Avowed. What is that called? What is the real term for that?
Oh gosh, I forget. It's
It's called smart business.
smart business.
Smart business. Because you don't invest millions of dollars in a game to then put it out there to die.
Is that
Mhm.
right? Especially new IP and things that you need people
Because it's
to
going
get
to be
know, right?
overwhelmed. But not only because the real problem is that they're big, already established IPs coming out, like Assassin's Creed,
Yeah.
like the new Madden, like the new Call of Duty. You see what I'm trying to say?
Exactly.
And then Indiana Jones, forget about it, has a super cult following
It
in the
does.
right?
It does. Yeah,
So-
it does. Yeah.
So you're setting a brand new IP, unknown, that people are gonna be like, when they go to the store, they see, oh, well, I can play this. What's it about? And then they see Indiana Jones. Wait, Call of Duty. You see what I'm trying to say? They're not gonna care about a Avowed. They're gonna look at that. I'll just buy that when it's $20. You see what I'm trying to say? And that's what Microsoft knows. They know this. They know this. It's like Wasteland 3. That's a niche title. Not everybody plays that, even though it has the biggest audience on PC. ¿Entiendes?
Yeah, right.
But on console, it's not big.
Right.
How do you know that? So it is a smart business. Huh?
I said sometimes you have games that are more popular on console or more popular on PC, so that happens.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Those Age of Empire games are humongous
They're
on PC.
huge. Yeah, that's huge.
They did great on Xbox though. They did better than
I'm
Hi-Fi
thinking-
Rush.
Oh wow.
They did better
Oh,
than Hi-Fi Rush and Redfall on Game
there
Pass.
you go. There you go. Yeah. Okay. There you go. Yeah. So honestly, from what I seen, I put it this way. After I say this, I want to address what Cygnus said too. But I'll just wrap this up real quick. Honestly, as a person who has bought an Xbox, who has Game Pass, who also has PC, so I get access to PC games as well. I'm extremely happy. My money is doing its job well. Okay, I'm getting my value out of everything Xbox, and I feel absolutely comfortable for the rest of this year and going into next year. And this is what I like about being an Xbox gamer, and that I'm not worried about what's coming to my platform. I'm not worried about what I can play. I see this and I know all of this stuff. Guess what? All of this is dropping day and date in Game Pass.
Yes.
I'm good. So that's what I see. Well, all I see is Game Pass across that, and I see myself playing some of these games because I don't have time to play them all, unfortunately, you know. But that's what I see. And as far as what
Cygnus.
Oh, so okay,
Right.
I'm sorry, I was reading this wrong. Okay, yeah, what Cygnus said, he said Xbox won't get that GTA 6 marketing. That probability is low. Why? They have the money, they could afford it if they want to. We don't know if they're going to do it.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
saying if.
Cygnus, you got to understand. Microsoft could pretty much do what they want if they wanted
They could,
to.
and they're
Basically.
and you know they're not a fanboy. The company is not going to turn away money if that's what they're willing to pay for.
Yeah.
They'll do it. So
Yeah,
I don't know if Xbox is doing it. I just want to make that clear. But if they decide to do that, okay, they can do that, and there's no way Sony is going to outbid them. The
And
only
Dea,
way.
on top
Oh,
of
so
it,
go ahead.
on top of it, I'm really getting sick of this sick dude. I don't know if he's trolling, but dude, you don't know that. You don't know that. So you can't really come onto this show and say that they're not going to get the deal. You're not an insider. You don't know anything. You don't know if they're going to get it or not. So for you to come on here and say that, that's just, to me, that's just trolling. Or, you know, or you're a little butthurt sore that even comes up. You know what I mean?
No, Cygnus not a troll. He's just a PlayStation fan. You know. I'm not kidding, man. He be on. You know, he be on.
you make it sound like that's any better.
He be on Sega Forever show, man. You know.
No, for the most part, he's been a respected
he's like
guy.
he's like my homie I haven't seen in a minute, Mike Johnson. He's just a PlayStation
Oh
fan.
yeah,
so
I've never. Yeah.
You got, so you gotta just put up with him, basically, man. It is what it is.
And,
yeah, man. You
That's
gotta
at least he doesn't disrespect us.
Yeah,
That's,
man, you gotta,
like, that's why I don't mind him being on every show. He can say whatever he wants.
yeah.
He don't disrespect.
Come on, Realist. You know I'm having fun with Cygnus, man.
Yeah,
Come on,
I
man.
was just like saying Cygnus can't make a statement without backing that up. Like, why can't Xbox get that? Nobody would turn down
Yeah,
money.
right?
I mean, it's the business
Back
at
it
the
up.
end of the day.
Yeah,
So-
back it up.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Like, you
Yeah,
gotta tell me why.
I hope it happens for one reason. I just want to see the reaction. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's it. I just want to see. I want to see Destin Legary, IGN, Carl Moriarty. I want to see them say that they never liked GTA. That you know that's going to happen if Xbox gets the marketing rights. All of a sudden, they're going to tear down that game as if it won't be the best-selling game of this generation. I gotta see that, please, Xbox.
Well, you know,
there's
too,
anybody
why
at
I
Xbox,
say that it's possible to. You know why I say that, or why I'm saying I brought it up? Because remember, Sony already had the marketing deal this generation for two of the bigger IPs, or at least to be known as big IPs, which is Final Fantasy VII, right? And the Silent Hill, right? Even though they're time exclusive, but they did have the marketing right and the time exclusivity. Yeah, Microsoft won't pay for a time exclusivity with GTA because that will cost them way too much money and it's not worth it. But to see them do a marketing deal where they'll make a console, let's say, or they'll get maybe some perks or some type of DLC that's exclusive to Xbox, I can see that because it will help fuel the Xbox forward, right? Or imagine that won't happen, but imagine that shit dropped on Game Pass. Oh my God.
Oh, well, I don't.
That will happen, but it'll happen a few
I know
years
that won't
later.
happen, but if
No,
it does,
it will happen. No, it's going to happen just a few years later. That's the only thing. It's not going to be day one. It'll be like 2027. It's going to be on Game Pass in 2027.
They were paying $10 million for the 15-year-old GTA 5. So imagine
Yeah.
a month. They were paying that a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
GTA 6 gonna be on Game Pass in like 2027. You know so that's my prediction on that. But yeah, if there's anybody at Xbox who comes across this, please get the marketing rights because I need to see that reaction, man. I will. That would be phenomenal. Just to see everybody turn on GTA and then watch it be the best selling game of the generation. It needs to happen. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like that's gonna be funny than the Call of Duty reaction when everybody's pretending they don't buy Call of Duty no more.
Yeah, they can pretend all they want.
Here's the kicker, Daya. Here's the kicker, Daya. On Call of Duty's YouTube channel, you know what their highest viewed Call of Duty game is?
What's that?
Black Ops 6.
Black
Ops 6 has something like 55 million viewers.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah,
55 million.
the game that Cygnus boys will tell you they don't buy anymore. 57 million. I'm looking at it right now.
Honestly, that's
not mine anymore. Last year, Call of Duty was the number one selling game on PlayStation. What are they talking about?
You know what PlayStation fans their money
that changed within 8 months.
Their mouths don't go where their mouths are on PlayStation. Their main priority is to shit on Xbox. That's really it. Whatever makes Xbox looks bad, even if it contradicts themselves, even if it's factually incorrect, or even if it constantly proves them wrong, they don't care. They don't care at all, and that's what makes it funny.
That's contradicting actual factual numbers. That's crazy.
I said because of historical facts.
He said, I said that because of historical facts that PlayStation got the GTA 5 marketing and they do marketing deals in bulk, meaning they
have because they did that with Devil May Cry 4, remember? And then when Devil May Cry 5 came out, everybody was saying we're going to be with Sony, and it ended up being with Xbox. You guys forgot that?
That's right. Tell me, but that's right.
Historically, Devil May Cry was always connected to PlayStation, but when Devil May Cry 5 came out, everybody was saying, even the media, it's going to be exclusive to PlayStation.
Here's a recent example he bought: the Metal Gear Solid remake.
Thank you. Metal Gear Solid 3.
That's right. That looks like an Xbox marketing deal because I've been seeing
it is because it was literally on their showcase.
Yeah, it was.
On the commercials, it got the Xbox logo at the end and stuff.
Yeah, I was actually surprised to see that because I was used to seeing that on PlayStations, but that was the Xbox this year. So you just never know anymore. You don't.
Yes. But with that said, Daya, I'm gonna pass the mic over to Hebot. Hebot, as you see on screen, the next 16 months. And by the way, I got to point, and I'm gonna keep pointing this out for anybody who might join in now and didn't hear me say it earlier. And more literally means and more. This image does not have everything that's coming in the next 16 months. So you look at that on screen. Hebot, I got to ask you because you're the historian. Have you seen a 16-month period this stacked? Because the only era I could think of is the early days of the Dreamcast that had launches that Xbox has lined up to where Xbox is literally delaying games not because of developmental issues like Marathon. It's because they don't have anywhere to fit it. So I need to get your thoughts, and I'm glad that you made it and I could hear it. What do you think about Xbox lineup? Is this legitimately one of the most stacked lineups ever?
To be honest with you, it almost looks like a lineup of a relaunch of the Xbox Series X and S. That's what it looks like because it's just so many games and so many genres and so much different talent, developers, and diversity in these games. So the stack part, Dreamcast had 21 games out within the first month of its window release. Never seen before. One of the greatest launch titles in my opinion, the greatest. In gaming history, which is why I say that the Dreamcast is one of the greatest consoles of all time, even though people give it to, like, let's say 360 and PlayStation. And I say, no, it's Dreamcast because Dreamcast, in a short period of time, had the biggest, robust library.
Yes, they did.
Console, and with quality games that never been done ever until the Dreamcast on a home console, right? It had independent, it had arcade, it had all that stuff. And then all the innovative things that it made and did and created, plus being able to play straight out the box online for the very first time, right out the box, right? Even though it was via modem, but it was still doing it right out the box.
Yeah.
Which was never done before. And then on top of that, to add all insult to injury, right? It was the most affordable console ever. $199.99 with arcade hardware embedded in console. Okay? Never heard of.
Yep.
Well, I will continue to say one of the greatest, if not the greatest console of all time. Because of the short time and so much success and so much things that they were able to achieve with that console. That being said, since we're talking about the lineup going forward, basically is, oh shit, my fucking wallet. Good thing they're on Game Pass, right? And I'm talking about it from a perspective of a PlayStation fan. If I'm a Sony fan and I'm seeing all these games and I have to buy them straight out of my wallet, I would be fucking scared. Because I'm like, I'm going to go broke. I can't afford it. Because you got to take into consideration all the other stuff that's coming out on other consoles and multi-platform, right?
Yeah.
So, like we were talking about, all of us, and like you said, they have some actual games missing, like State of Decay 3. They have Perfect Dark missing, and those games already were shown in playable form. I think Replaced is not even on there as well.
Nope.
And that I can't really see because it's small, but it's not there. So again, those are 3 games not included that were announced for next year already that are not on that list on top of this list. But yet you only know about one game, for example, using PlayStation as an example, on PlayStation, which is basically Wolverine. That's it. That's all you know.
Nothing else.
You're going to argue that being on an Xbox, or hesitate that being on an Xbox is not worth your time, place, or money, or that the console hardware market is going down the toilet because they don't have enough sales to this point? When we had COVID that fractured everything for 3 years, this shows you that COVID had a big effect. You're seeing now all the games that were in the works that would have been out from day one, had this been a normal situation without the COVID crisis that we went through in the pandemic, right? Until now, we would have seen all these games came out from that point on, or in the faster development, right? This is the proof that COVID fractured the gaming industry. So in reality, it's like I said, this is almost like a re-release or the real beginning of next gen moving forward. At least for Xbox, right? Because again, for PlayStation, all they had was Demon's Souls remastered as a PS5 only game, and I believe it was Ratchet and Clank. Then after that, everything else was full on cross generation. You see? Not on Xbox. Xbox didn't have all their games cross gen. Matter of fact, 90% of them are not cross gen. See what I'm saying? So this is like a full new re-release launch going forward with this generation. So why would you even complain or even hesitate? Especially that you know that you can play these games on Game Pass for a measly price of $20 a month. And then if you like the game, you can buy it flat out to own it in your library. Because nobody's holding a gun to your head saying you can't buy it. You can buy whatever the fuck you want. Just like most of us do. We bought Hi-Fi Rush day one in the case of Unlimited. I didn't, but in the case of Unlimited, because I was waiting for a physical. Unlimited said, oh, fuck it, I'm just going to buy it and buy a physical when it comes out. I didn't even do that. I hesitated, so I bought it on sale, but I want the physical, and I will buy the physical, right? So again, like I said, these games are just the proof of all the good things to come. And it's just going to get better and bigger because that's why they acquired all those studios. All those studios. And then every studio, like I said, Tim Schafer's, Double Fine. Psychonauts, they're working on a new game. We just got Hellblade from Ninja Theory, and they're working on Project Mara, as we know, right? The team behind Wasteland, they're doing their new game, right?
Clockwork Revolution, yeah.
Clockwork Revolution, which is
that's
also
another
not
one.
on this list. Unlimited.
Yeah.
Okay?
They got
Right?
so many. Xbox got so
Alright.
many games that I keep forgetting some.
Yeah,
I
we
know,
forget.
Me too. Yeah.
Well, Arcane Studios, after they finish their game, what are they doing? Blade.
They
Not on
working
this
on
list
Blade.
either.
Yeah.
Blade is not on the list either, is it?
Also, Contraband.
Contraband.
I haven't heard
that's
anything about Contraband. I don't even know what's going on with that game.
They
But
don't
again-
need it. You know, sorry, let me just tell Daya.
No,
this real quick.
no worries.
What Xbox did at the beginning of the generation, they legit gave us a generation's worth of roadmap. I'm now realizing. So everything we saw in 2020, 2021 were they were in early development at the time. That's why they're now releasing now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of like
Like, don't be surprised.
Yeah,
We see
because
Contraband.
because they, I don't know if you were around, but at the end of the Xbox One generation, everybody, and I mean every single person you could find that had a microphone and talk gaming was saying Xbox need a roadmap. So Xbox said, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So they gave us, and we didn't realize at the
you,
time. Yeah, we didn't realize at the time that they gave us pretty much a generation's worth of games as a roadmap.
So we might.
So that's why. Yeah, so that's why you haven't seen. That's why we're now seeing South of Midnight.
Right.
That's why Valve's now coming out literally 5 years after first announced in 2020. By the time it released, same with Fable. So because all them games, you know what I'm saying, they, it's rare that we get a and then since series like Doom are more established, they didn't need to show them on a roadmap map because you knew a new Doom was going to come.
Yeah.
So that's why Doom could be shown in 2024, released in 2025. You know.
Right.
So I just want to add that context there.
But it's good context because you're right. It almost feels, without us even knowing and realizing that they deliberately gave us a half a generation worth of roadmap, maybe even a whole generation because there's so many stuff, right?
And games we know they're working on that. I think it's going to be probably a next gen game like the next Halo.
Oh yes, thank you for pointing that out.
And then we also got E-Day. Here's a word, E-Day.
Yeah. That's going to probably drop before Halo, of course. So I don't know when that comes out though. I don't know.
No, Gears will come out before Halo because the Xbox always tends to release a Gears and a Halo in every generation. And the thing with this, and the thing is, with this generation, they released Hive Busters in the very beginning. Remember, the only difference is that Hive Busters was cross-gen at that time.
Oh, okay. So this is the full,
like full-on game. Yeah, they always release in every generation. If you go back and look, a Halo game and a Gears in every console generation, every single time. They've always done that.
Wait a minute. Okay, so far we've had Halo, we've had Forza. And then it's time for Gears, and then after that,
now it's Gears time.
Okay. Then the next gen, and then it starts over again. Okay, I got it.
And then you could add into that list now also Fable, because Fable was one of their.
Oh yeah, Fable is their core.
Also, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
So just to end with my final thoughts is basically as a gamer on Xbox, you should not feel afraid of not having enough content. You should not feel worried that you're not going to have nothing to play. And to be honest, even if, let's say half of these games, which I doubt it, but half of these games went on another platform like PlayStation or console, because PC really is a different medium, right? PC gamers are not a threat. They do their own thing. They do their own thing. You know what I mean?
Microsoft too.
They've always been associated with PC as well.
They have.
Which I also pointed out that the biggest difference, because these guys don't mention it, is when Microsoft puts a game on PC, you're not buying it 2 times. You buy it on Xbox, and you get the PC version. On PlayStation, if you buy the game for PlayStation, you got to buy the PC version separate.
Yeah.
You don't get it.
And your saves don't go with you.
That's what I'm saying. And your saves don't go with you. The saves are actually tied to a paywall with cloud. You have to actually have PSN in order to be able to save it. If you don't, you lose everything. You start from scratch.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, but that's exactly how it is. They won't talk about it, but I will. Yeah. Right? So just like
which is weird they don't talk about it, because they all had a PC for Xbox games. So
right. And you know what I don't like when I see a bunch of PC dudes trying to protect PlayStation, and like, yo, you guys act like they're doing something for you when they're not.
Oh yeah, I don't know why, because I
Makes
don't.
no sense to me. None.
Yeah.
But again, now what I do think, Mark, that Microsoft could probably do a little bit not stronger, because I know why they do it. Microsoft is using the marketing via social. That's where they like marketing. That's where most people are. That's a fact.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if they push it a little bit more, like what they're doing, like when that guy was complaining about the McDonald's ad on his dashboard, and I'm like,
yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
What happened? What happened with? Can you add context to that? Because I'm not familiar with that.
Well, what happened was in Europe, right? They put an ad for McDonald's with Xbox on the Xbox dashboard, right? And all I'm saying is that's more money to promote the console, and McDonald's will probably promote the console as well. That was a deal. Plus, keeping in mind that in the UK, Xbox doesn't sell as well as PlayStation. Right. So Microsoft has to find other venues to bring enough money to keep Xbox in the UK. So that's why they do moves like that. But they don't want to act, because they want to act like, oh, that's just them being greedy, because they could make online for free and all this. You know how they are, right? They seem to forget that how is Microsoft going to make online free if they have to maintain servers, and you have to pay literally cable separate just so that it works. And if you don't pay cable, your online won't work. So even if Microsoft offered it free, it's not going to work. You still got to pay cable. So how they're going to get those servers running with no maintenance if you're not paying for online support? Over 500 million people that they came out and said are active users on Xbox.
Yep.
500 million people.
That's a crazy number.
And you're going to tell me that the Xbox doesn't sell? Yeah, I know that's via PC, tablet, phone.
Everything.
I know that. But if you have 500 million people, you really think that Sony and Nintendo should be in this conversation? Do you really think they need to be in this conversation?
No.
They cannot compete, because Sony and Nintendo, like I said many times before, they solely rely on the console hardware sale. That is their number one thing they need, because without those sales, they won't get people to buy their games. Microsoft don't need to do that, because they're everywhere. You're an ecosystem. You got your library under a service. You can play it on tablet, phone, PC, Rogue Ally, the Xbox console, on your TV, and now even on Fire Sticks. Like, come on now.
I got mine hooked through the Fire Stick.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They need the hardware for Xbox is just what you call that? It's like
it's Skynet.
No. I'm talking about the hardware. When they sell the hardware, it's like I forgot the proper term of it, but it's basically the way that they're able to keep on moving technology forward for consoles, right?
Yeah. No, I think it
works as the vehicle for Game Pass.
I think it's about the store, because if they got their own platform where they can sell their software at 100% profit, they're gonna keep it. And
but I'm saying that the Xbox,
or they get 30% from other people's stuff. You don't get rid of your store.
The console hardware is always going to work as a vehicle for everything Xbox, because most people want simplicity. Most people are apprehensive.
I'm talking about from a business perspective. It makes a lot of sense for Microsoft to have a console, because on that platform where the majority of their players currently, well, I don't know, they're everywhere now because they got 500 active users, but where a big portion of them are, they have a store there where they can, when they selling their stuff on there, they're getting 100% of profit. They're not sharing that with anybody. And when they're selling other third-party stuff, they're still getting 30%. If you give up your store, you give that up. You have to pay somebody else to host your games
and get a smaller percentage. Right.
So that's why, that's the first and foremost reason why they're never getting rid of the console. They're not going to until like all the consoles is just gone or something one day. But
the thing is that there's always going to be people that want to play on console because of the simplicity. The simplicity.
Right. I know why people want to do that. I'm just talking about from a business perspective.
Right, and from a business perspective as well. You have a point. But what I'm saying is, from a gamer's perspective, from people's perspective, people want simplicity, right? And the console is doing things almost like a PC, right? So why would they pay the big amount for PCs, even though it has its benefits? If they only want a game, they're just going to choose a console. That's why the S does so well.
Exactly.
They want to play next gen games. They're not worried about the technology all the time.
Yeah.
So in order to drive hardware technology in the future to make more powerful consoles, hybrid consoles possibly that unify with PC as well, all that kind of stuff, they need the hardware to be the vehicle to move technology in the hardware and console space forward. Because if you eliminate the hardware, you're not going to have evolving of technology. You see what I'm saying? It'll just be through service and stream, which that no streaming service can handle the amount of data that you can do with a console without any type of what you call that sacrifice. You see what I'm saying? Streaming something is not bit for bit, and you're going to have always some type of either latency, slowdowns, and even if it was streaming at a high quality or high bandwidth, it would be super expensive.
Right.
So that's not cost efficient. A console is cost efficient because it's cheaper, even though the R&D to make them are always $2 or $3 billion at this point. But it's cost efficient in the sense that they can do and create and take more risks doing things without having to worry about sacrifice because it's still on the hardware. You see what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
He bought. Yeah, that does make sense, man. But is it possible, brother, that PlayStation's so far behind will it just become like an app? Like it won't be a PlayStation 6? You think it will probably
I think there'll be a PlayStation 6, but that might be their last PlayStation.
Plus, I think that one of two things will happen.
Because the PlayStation 5 is not selling like the PS4 did.
Right.
And but they don't have that momentum that the PS4 had. You know,
one or two things.
And sorry to cut you off.
No, it's okay.
But let me add this one last point to Sega Man. And for Sony made the horrible decision, Sega Man, of not pushing the PS4 out the way Xbox did the Xbox One. So what Sony's problem has right now is that a lot of people have no reason to upgrade to the PS5.
Yes.
When a lot of the games were cross generation and stuff like that, when Xbox stopped doing this is how bad the cross generation is. There are some games that are only on the Series X, not playable on Xbox One, that are playable on the PS4.
Yes.
That's how bad. That's how bad cross. That's how bad. Like that's so. And to me, Sega Man, and I'll let Hiba speak in a second. And to me, Sega Man, the reason why Sony didn't want to let go to PS4 because they thought that they're going to get some record with it console sales like they did the PS2. And so they didn't want to. So they didn't train their audience to, hey, here's why you upgrade. A lot of them are not going to upgrade this generation. They're just not. They're perfectly happy playing Madden, which is still released on the PS4. Fortnite, which is still playable on PS4. Call of Duty, which I think even the newest
that's one of the reasons.
Is that one of the reasons why though he bought and
I'll pass the mic to Hebot. Go ahead.
No. What I was going to say is that's definitely one of the reasons that we're trying to see if they can break that record. But at the same time, is they couldn't make the PS5 as advanced as the Xbox Series X. The Xbox Series X, remember, is future-proof. It still has technology that hasn't been tapped into yet that's still being used now for the very first time. That is why they're talking about doing a PS5 Pro, because that would be a cheaper solution for them, as opposed to making a whole brand new PS6, especially with the console selling not as well and not having enough game sales. Because the difference is Microsoft will go wall to the wall, make an 80 teraflop console, for example. And again, I'm not saying that's what they're doing. I'm just giving you a hypothetical, right?
Well,
for the next Xbox, right? With all this technology, and they can still take it and sell it at a full loss, complete loss, because they have the money and capital to do that. You see what I'm saying? If they really wanted to. Sony can't do that. Whatever Sony creates has to stay within their means. So what's going to happen, to the question that you asked me before when Unlimited said what he said and added on, they'll do one or two things. either they'll cap themselves at the best, highest technology that they could put in a console with the PS5 Pro, or the PS5 6 will be their last console, right? Yeah. Or they'll opt to stay in the hardware business, but they'll keep making their consoles just a little bit smaller in as far as tech, and not keep it making it so advanced so it won't cost them as much, the way that Nintendo has done with the Wii, Wii U, and the Switch. Because that's why Nintendo did that. Nintendo stopped making hard. Because if you guys remember, and E-Rock, he mentioned it many times before, anytime Nintendo made a console, they always try to make the most powerful console from any other company every time they brought a console. That's how they always did it. But the minute that they had failure with like the Nintendo 64, right? Mm-hmm. And then the GameCube, back to back, that fucked them up financially, yes. Right? Sony was doing just way too well because they got the whole market, right? Because the name Sony alone, people were like, it's Sony, it's got to be the best, right? That's literally the mentality that it was. So what ended up happening is, what did Nintendo have to do in order to survive? They had to go back, okay, we're going to make consoles, but this time, we're just not going to make them super powerful. We're going to just concentrate on making good, unique, and creative games, right? And it worked with the Wii U with the gimmick. It almost surpassed the PS2, almost, right? But then what happened? It plateaued. Because for every one console, they sold only one, maybe two games. The ratio wasn't there. Unlike Xbox 360.
The Wii casual market was too extreme. It was too casual.
For sure. You had old people in fucking homes, in mental homes or in old people homes playing that shit. That's how far it went, right? You never seen that before. Never in the history of the gaming. Never been seen before, which was great. I thought it was being used with great ideas, but that's not what it was about. Not for the hardcore market. And now the difference with 360 though, 360 had 8 games per each console they sold. So the ratio was much higher, and that's why it had so much success. Because it sold 8 games every time somebody bought a new Xbox 360. The PS3 only sold 2 games for every PS3. That's why the ratio market was low. Horrible. And that's why they had to keep lowering the price, taking out technology, making it slimmer and slimmer because they kept taking out technology to make it cheaper. Mm-hmm. And that's why they made it cheaper. So when people say, yeah, but the PS3 caught up and the price of 360. Yeah, you dumb fucks. Because they had to take a law. It's called diminished returns. The fucking PS3 at one point was $150. I know, because that's when I bought one. Okay? Yeah. That's when I bought it. The God of War edition from fucking FYE. It was $159.99. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And at the time, the Xbox Core, which was the one that came with nothing, not even a hard drive, right? I think it came with a memory card of like 500 gigs, I think, or something like that.
Card. Yeah.
Some local, or 500 megabytes or some shit like that. Even that console, the Core, was $299. Even before they released the Xbox One, because they had the market. They were selling no matter what. So that's why when I see they say that stupid shit about the sales, that the Switch sold because the Switch is catering to their handheld market, which you see they make no more handheld. The console has 3 SKUs of one a $200 SKU, a $250 SKU, and $300 SKU, and the $350 SKU with the OLED, right? So it's still much cheaper than an Xbox or a PlayStation, unless you get a Series S, of course, right? So again, that's why it sold so much. You can't compare a console that's $500 versus a console that you can get literally for $200 and say, oh, it's selling like hotcakes because it's a much better console. No, that's not why. It sells more because parents are going to go in the store and be like, how much is an Xbox? How much is a PlayStation? $500? Oh, fuck, hell no. How much is the Nintendo Switch? Oh, 200? You got a 200 edition? All right, that's what we're going to get. And that's just the reality of it. That's the reality. That's as far as it goes. It's not because Nintendo has this magic wand that they're doing the best of the best, because you see that they haven't brought out game after game every year. It's been like 1 exclusive, maybe 2 per year. And then the third-party Japanese shit that they always get for free just because it's a Nintendo. And then when you go see, it barely sells, right? Because you haven't even heard sales for some of those games either, as of late.
Actually, I have a chart somewhere that shows the sales, and despite the Switch selling 120 something million consoles, games like Bayonetta peaked at like 1.3 million. Astral Chain peaked at 1 point something million. Marvel Ultimate with the Marvel license, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 only sold like one plus million. You know? So
with 120 million consoles, and that shit didn't sell not even 1%. So what does that tell you, brother? What does that tell you? That it's not the console sales. Right there, you give yourself the answer. It's not about the console sales. It's about the game sales.
Yeah.
Well,
and the only game that sell well is either Mario, Zelda, or Metroid. And even Metroid didn't do well. Metroid Prime didn't do well, but that's because it was overpriced. That Metroid, not Prime, the 2D side scroller one.
Games like Pokemon. I'm looking at the list right now. Games like Pokemon, Mario, Zelda, Smash Bros.
Kirby.
Your typical Nintendo stuff did well. The typical Nintendo games did well. It's when you get to stuff like the Bayonettas, the Astral Chains, the Marvel to the Alliance, that it doesn't even cross the 1.52 million mark, barely over million mark type sales. Stuff that when Hi-Fi Rush had 3 million players, we were told was a failure.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
When you see developers saying, "Oh, we put it on Nintendo because it's the best market, people are going to buy games." That's why I said bullshit, because they don't buy third parties. They don't buy third party exclusives. They just don't. And when you go to the Nintendo store, which I can show you on camera, and you go to the store and Sega Man knows because he just got one recently. They got games there for $1, $2. That's every week. They got fire sales like that.
Yep.
With games that'll be $1 on Nintendo, right? And then when you go on Xbox, it should be like $20.
Yep.
Yeah. The realist said SMT5. That's Shin Megami Tensei 5. I don't even see that on this list I'm looking at. Realist. So it must have sold under 1 million. But Sega Man, it seemed like you wanted to see something. Say something.
I just wanted to say something real quick, and I know you and Heba can probably capitalize on this because this is true.
Well, yeah, we're going to start wrapping it up shortly, though.
Right. So he bought Unlimited and Dea. This is kind of ties into what Heba was talking about. This is my theory. Is that why PlayStation is still actually selling PS4s, because is it actually doing better than the PS5?
Yeah. They said it themselves. Yeah. They got more sales.
So they're actually holding gaming back by still selling PS4s, which are more popular than the PS5. They're selling more there.
Sony, and this is a little trick Sony kind of try to pull on people. They say that this current generation is the most profitable. But what they're doing is adding PS5 and PS4. When they show the PS4 numbers, it's only PS4, not counting PS3. So that's how they kind of flub it a bit. But they
were counting the Portal as sales of a console.
Yeah,
they were counting the PlayStation VR as hardware sales. They said it themselves.
Yes.
So the PS4 is outselling their next gen console. Correct.
I don't think it's outselling it right now, but there are more people playing on PS4 than PS5. Yeah, because a lot of people have not upgraded. You know, a lot of people have not upgraded.
Most of their games are cross-gen.
Yeah,
you have to do that.
Yeah, when I see some of the games on the PlayStation Store, Sega Man, that says PS5/PS4 that are only on Series on Xbox, I'm like, dang, they're really not letting this console go. David, let me address David Cohen's here, then we're going to start wrapping it up shortly. David Cohen said, I have a question Unlimited. What do you think about Doom 1 and 2 bundle? That's a question for Sega Man, because he actually played it. I haven't yet. So Sega Man, what do you think about Doom 1 and 2 bundle?
Hey, Big Dave C. It's awesome. When they had their little show, they were really hyping that up. If you already own if you already bought Doom 1 and 2, which I already had for a long time because I buy games, you'll get the upgrade for free. I think it's really awesome. It's crisp and clear. It has a lot of improvements. It's 60 frames per second. They added more boards and things to the bundle. So it's definitely worth the price if you're to buy it. It's on everything right now too, also. And that was to introduce Dark Ages and different things like that. So yeah, man, it is awesome. I mean, it's truly awesome, man, and it looks beautiful. It looks really awesome, man. It's crisp and clear, and it's an awesome bundle to get. So if you don't have it, man, get it, because you get a lot in that bundle. You get Doom 1 and 2, and you get the other Lost boards and different things that they added to it. They added a new board to it that's brand new from the ground up. So yeah, it's actually worth getting if you don't have it. It has a lot of replay value. The thing about id Games, guys, is id Games have a lot of replay value. A lot of people go back to playing the old Dooms and some of the old games that they have brought out in the past because it has a lot of replay value. So that's why I think they actually did that, because a lot of people are still playing those.
Right. Excellent stuff there. With that, we're going to start calling it a night. Daya, you still there?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
All right. So Daya, give us your final thoughts in your outro.
Well, honestly, if they was trying to doom and gloom on Xbox due to Hi-Fi Rush, they failed. That's not a loss for Xbox, because in that same time that Arcane was shut down, and that's only a branch of Arcane, I might add. People tend to forget that Arcane Lyon is the original Arcane, and then they formed Arcane Austin from that. So Arcane is still intact, but they shut down Arcane Austin and Tango, but they folded in Roundhouse, so I don't include them. They kept all of them. But in my opinion, they made new studios. We know about Elsewhere Entertainment, and we know that Playground Games made a studio or two. I think they about 3 studios big now, so they're growing and building organically, if you will. While at the same time, in some cases, they have to get rid of some studios. But at the end of the day, Microsoft is still very healthy. They haven't lost more than what they had. They're still growing, so that's what I'm saying. Nobody knew about Elsewhere. Nobody even knew they existed. So we do not know what Microsoft is doing behind the scenes. We don't know what other studios or what acquisitions they could have had that they have not announced. They could be smaller acquisitions that they've bought that they haven't talked about. We don't know that. So I'm not concerned about Xbox, and I think they're doing what they have to keep their business healthy, and that's what they're going to have to make hard decisions. This economy is horrible for everybody, especially the tech sector. So when they can save a game, or they can let a studio go independent, or if they can sell a studio, that's a good thing. And I'm just happy that Tango gets a new home and that Hi-Fi gets a new home, but at the same time, we all still have access to the game. So I'm happy for them.
Exactly.
One game loss does not end Microsoft. They still going to acquire. We know that, and they're also building games from the ground, studios from the ground up. So I consider that very healthy. And also with the lineup that we're seeing, in my opinion, if you're in the Xbox ecosystem, you have absolutely nothing to worry about. If you're worried about that, then I don't think you're a gamer. That's
you know what, another thing too, real quick there, to add to what you just said with your send off. Nobody he's forgetting that we still also only console with end stream available,
right?
Which has a bunch of over 600 games that are retro.
Yeah. Right, retro games too, and I love to play those too. So yeah. So I mean, honestly, it's something for everybody over here. And you like first person, you can shooters, you can play that. You like the little hack and slash and stuff, you can do that. It's all kind of games, and we even talk about some games like Killer Instinct 2 that I believe is being made, and other stuff. It's so many games, but all I can say is that don't let these ponies and pony bots and media and stuff scare you guys. You're in the right place if you're in the Xbox ecosystem. More games are to come, some that we don't even know about, and I'm excited, and I hope you guys are too. For this Christmas season, just get to gaming and enjoy your games.
Yeah, excellent stuff there, Daya.
Excellent.
Sega Man, give us your final thoughts in your outro.
Final thoughts, brother Unlimited and First Lady of X, and the most powerful gamer. A very good talking brother Hebot was preaching, man. About you guys breaking it down. It's just I think we got a lot of great things coming when you games coming when you showed that on the screen. We have debunked a lot of things, Unlimited and Hebot and Dea. We have debunked a lot of things, and like I said, man, sometimes people, when you do that, they go to something else and they don't want to address what you say to them. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, we're not holding gaming back. We stopped making Xbox One and Xbox One X's. You
That's
still have
true.
the PS4 out there. The PS4 is actually holding back gaming. You know what I mean? So to say, or so to speak, that they said about our Xboxes, but nobody wants to talk about that. You know what I mean? But like I said before, guys, and I'm gonna say it again, we're eating good over here.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen that nice smorgasbord of games that we got coming in Game Pass. We're not like the other console where you have to pay for everything. We only have to pay one entry, and that's either $15 or $16, whatever it went up to. And then for 3 months, what is it, 30? Is it 32 something or 40 something? Something like that. But we use what is it that we use unlimited CD keys.
Yeah.
So I think, like I said, we're eating good over here, man. And like Dea said, and I like the way she said it, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it at all. And I believe Microsoft will do something with that GTA 6. I don't care what people have to say about that. I think that will happen because they have the money and the power to do it. There's no other console out there that can do it. The only console and company that can do it is Microsoft, whether you like it or not. But like I said, we're eating good over here, Unlimited, man. We got a lot to look forward to, man. We're going to be, playing great games like Avowed, different things like that. And I think for the most part, most of our chat that rocks out with us, the true Xbox dudes that are out here in the chat, man, they know. They're very well knowledgeable, and they know that we are the best box, which is the Xbox right now, and we're number one. It doesn't matter about console sales, and I don't know how many times we got to keep putting that in your thick skulls. It's not about how many consoles you sell, baby. It's about that software. That's all it's about. It's not about
Great.
the consoles, man.
Great stuff there, Sega man. And last but not least, Hebot, the most powerful gamer. Give us your final thoughts in your outro.
Yeah, just it's a good time. Like we've been saying for a long time, good time to be a gamer, especially on Xbox because we get most of that stuff day and day on Game Pass, and we're going through financial struggles and problems like a lot of people in America are today. It makes it very easy, accessible for you to be able to not feel like you're missing out, right? Or like the kids like to say, the FOMO, right? In this day and age, because again, a lot of those new games drop on Game Pass. Flintlock, we just had Harold Halibut, Path of God is just to name a few, which you got to actually go out and buy full-fledged on a PlayStation, right? Or if on Nintendo, if they're there on Nintendo as well. So, all that doom and gloom about, oh no, if the hardware don't keep selling, they potentially could let it go. This is not a Surface where everybody in the world makes laptops. This is not a phone where Apple and Android got the market so dominated that it's almost impossible, even with Google being a player in the phone space as well now, to try to compete, right? Consistently, right? So hardware is always been something that has moved gaming forward with technology, and it's been the vehicle for most casual gaming and gamers, and because they like simplicity, right? Versus more sophisticated things like on a PC, right? So it's just, if you're complaining that the Xbox is not worth even buying, or trying to say that it's not worth even having, then you're just being a liar, a hypocrite, and just basically fooling and lying to yourself, because that is the furthest from the truth message that you could ever see. Especially when we also have an option that if you want to get a console, you can do Xbox All Access, which Best Buy, Target, and Microsoft Store, plus GameStop offers, which is basically paying it through like a credit card service, or paying it slowly with no interest for 2 years, and it includes Game Pass with Ultimate for those 2 years, and you can have the console at a very low cost of $37 a month. If you can't afford that, then I don't know what to tell you. And I'm not trying to score. I'm just saying I don't know what to tell you, because that is like a really low tier of entry point to be able to play on a next gen console and have so much access to so many games like Starfield, like Indiana Jones this holiday, and Stalker 2 at $37 a month. You know what I mean? And I know GameStop, Target employees won't tell you, but if you ask them, trust me, they'll say, yeah, you can do it because it's there. It's available. Okay? It's definitely available. So, again, just enjoy gaming and stop listening to the doom and gloom, because the reality is there is no reason. Like I said, was trying to say earlier, even if a quarter or half of these games went somewhere else, there's still enough games that are only on the console platform that you don't need to worry about, well, if somebody else gets to play another game, because we have enough to play no matter what. The biggest problem we have is that we don't have enough time to play all these games. That's the real problem. Mm-hmm. And that's the real issue that we should be talking about. That's my final thoughts on it, brother.
Excellent stuff there. So everybody, go to Hebot's channel where he's discussing the hold on, let me make sure I get this right. His response to IGN, Desligary, Paris Lilly, Ryan McCaffrey on the fear-mongering on Xbox stop making hardware. Something that's not going to happen, as Sarah Bond has been telling y'all for like 2 years now, that they're working on the next Xbox is going to be forwards and backwards compatible, generational leap, and yada, yada, yada. Yeah. So go ahead, check out his video right now. As soon as I click end stream, you go to his video. And say, matter of fact, I'm gonna do one of them corny YouTube things. Go in the chat, put Unlimited sent me. With that said, guys, have a great enjoy the rest of your week.
Absolutely.
I'll be back later this week, mostly for some gameplay stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna have lots to talk about. Remember, Gamescom's coming soon.
That's right. Gamescom starts next Friday, I think.
Yeah, next Friday.
So, are you gonna do something for it? Or?
Yeah, nah, because it's multiple days. It's multiple.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, I said it once and I said it again. I'll always be bitter that the Germans weren't stupid enough to kill Gamescom after COVID. The way the dumbasses over here who think because Sony and Nintendo stopped showing up, we don't need E3. But with that.